Press O to hoagie.
Hog tie.
O to hog. I don't know. I can't read it.
Press O to hoagie.
Yeah, that sounds better. I like. Oh, hoagie.
Jack, are we live?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for telling me that.
Hi, guys.
Hello, and welcome to Digital Fiasco Live, the final show of the year, and it's our most fiasco-y yet.
And,
Jack is...
I am Jack McBastard.
Yes, he is the stand-in Jack McBastard for now. And I'm Dandr0id, and Jack is fucking with the lights back there.
You shouldn't do that. That's inappropriate.
All right. Anyways, yeah, so this is Digital Fiasco Live. We are here at near the end of December. It's almost Christmas. This is the last show of the year because, fuck it, we want some vacation. So, Jack, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I worked all day. I worked all weekend, and then I was like, well, fuck. Let's just come here and pretend to be Jack.
All right, so I hear you're a big fan of Ark.
I am.
So what are you? Tell me about some of your adventures recently in Ark, because I know that they brought out. Didn't they bring out a new DLC or something like that? Or
a little while ago, they brought out Ark Extinction. Honestly, wasn't a huge fan of the map.
Yeah.
I was actually really disappointed with it. I found the biomes to be very limited.
Was it the type of thing where you can still take that content and live with it on a different island, or do you have to play it in that map?
The game, the content was great. The dinos are cool. They had these really cool skins. So you could have like a Rex, and then you have another type of dino that was a Tech Rex. So it had all
that's the one with like the laser on its head, and you like ride it and stuff.
That was actually a saddle you could get as for different types of tech gear.
Oh, okay.
That you could get, but honestly, I keep coming back to it when I'm not working. Like whenever I'm playing not.
Well,
working.
yeah, because I know it's one of those games that will just eat your fucking time. So.
Yeah, I have been known to put 80 hours into a week into that game before, so it's like a full-time job. But yeah. I really do enjoy that game. I will always keep probably going back to it. I like building. A buddy of mine, and you guys have met him before, Gun Street Boy.
Yeah.
Him and I, we run our own server, so we just. You
don't have to worry about people ganking your shit.
I don't have to worry about assholes of the internet, because we all know that that's what the internet is. It's just basically assholes. We tweak the settings because it's just the two of us mostly the time that are playing. So we do mess around with settings like the taming scales, because taming takes forever.
Well, and I know
breeding takes forever.
Just from some of the adventures I've heard of before too, is like there's certain dinos not only taming but just trying to actually kill some of these things to get like resources from them and stuff like that. They can just have insane amounts of like hit points and stuff like that
it's
too.
insane. Like some of the dinos in there, they're just monstrous. You should actually check out some of the maybe Jay Tanuki can post some links of some Arc Titans. These things are
Arc Titans. What's a Titan?
They're like the new bosses from Extinction, and they're just like you have a Giga, which is like the giant thing that's way bigger than a T-Rex, right?
So it looks like a T-Rex, but it's like 10 times bigger?
That's a Giga. That's not even a Titan.
Okay.
Right? That's vanilla. They had that in the first Arc, the island map.
Yeah.
And then they had, then they came out with Titansaur, I think around the time the Redwood biome was released.
Okay.
And he was like a siege engine, and he was like the biggest, and he looks kind of like a Bronto, right? And now they have these things, right? Like not bosses. Well, they kind of are, but you get to when you tame them, you can only have them for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
Because they are so unbalancingly powerful. They will just walk through bases, and they have all crazy builds. Like one of them, things. One thing you would appreciate in it is they actually introduced mechs.
Oh, really?
You can actually build a mech suit and they were actually introduced to fight these Titans.
Okay, well, that's kind of selling me on that.
So yeah, no,
I like me some mech combat.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that were introduced. But yeah, it's honestly you can set up these servers called clusters. So you run multiple instances of different maps, and then there's ways of transporting yourself back and forth with dinos and stuff all the way back and forth, so you can
so if you want to keep your shit going to a different map or different island or whatever, do they have that thing that we kind of talked about 76, where they have the blueprint type of thing where you can actually take a building that you've built before, it blueprints it, and then you can pop it up somewhere else? Do they have any kind of thing like that?
No, I haven't seen anything like that. It would be really convenient.
Because I know that it's situational too. Because sometimes there's certain land you can't build on, or there's like trees in the way, or some shit like that.
Yeah,
so.
and that's one of the benefits about running your own server is you can turn off a lot of those settings.
Right. So you can just build whatever the fuck you want.
Like one of the big ones is cave building. Right?
Okay.
And then like Gunstreet Boy, and like funny story, I'll talk about it in a few minutes. But we actually have cave building turned on turned on because in the servers it's defaulted as no, because they don't want people blocking access, because that's how you can get artifacts and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Those artifacts are then used to summon bosses.
Oh, okay.
So the official servers, they can't have that ability to be built.
because people would just be dicks and they would
block
just barricade
access,
everything.
and then they could sell them or like trade them for cementing paste or something like that. But no. So we were actually in Extinction. So the way Extinction works is basically you're on a map, and you're basically on the Earth.
Okay.
Right. All of the other arcs have been like not the Earth, like you're in like space station type style things.
Okay. So it's a literal biome, like floating around in space. It's not a planet.
Like they have things like if you go into the story about it, it's like they use things like the island was there because the way that they kept people from trying to leave that biome or that map was basically it's just surrounded by water, right, and then they brought out Scorched Earth, and the story behind that is, well, it's just a desert, people are going to fly through the desert, but what they ended up doing is putting these death worms in the desert to keep you there, so you wouldn't wouldn't leave. It was a deterrent to leaving the map.
Just as deadly or even deadlier than water.
Exactly. And so and then Aberration was really cool. I think Aberration is definitely my favorite map so far. They just did so well. Everything was pretty. It kept my interest just wanting to explore the map. Yeah. Whereas what happened with us, we found a nice starting area in Extinction. I think it was the Sunken Forest is what it's called. And basically the world is inhospitable, but this forest basically collapsed into the ground. So there's a lot of you always have light. There's never any lack of daylight. So it's like Extinction.
Like a forest in a cave kind of situation.
But there is ways you can get out through and into the surface.
I was gonna say, because you have like pterodactyls and stuff, right?
Or pteranodons.
Oh, sorry, pteranodons. Yeah.
There's a lot of flyers. But they have all that. But so our buddy Gunstreet Boy and me, we were finally like, we've built this, we've gathered our resources, we're like, okay, we want to go to the snow biome because it's usually pretty cool there. There's a lot of different dinos and stuff like that, and so you get to the map, they actually have them like a shield, and you can actually see these on the map. You're looking at them like these balls, like these shielded areas, and there's one for the desert biome and one for the snow biome, and then there's wasteland between these places, and you have these corrupted dinosaurs in there. So we're like, okay, we're gonna get to the snow biome, blah blah blah. So we hop in our dinos, and we have we lucked out, and because we actually have our difficulty cranked up, so we can get way higher level dinos, right? And we don't cheat to get them, we'll actually tame them and stuff like that. But so anyways, we're on our way going to this place, and he's got like a level 700 stego, and I've got like 700 T-Rex, right? Like two giant monsters of things. And we get to the snow biome, and we're like, all right, it's the snow biome. This is the entrance. It's got to be, right? There's things here. It's under the shield, right? Yeah. So we start going in, and we start exploring. We're going down deeper and deeper, and it's just like wave after wave of dinos just coming at us. So we're like, this is really hard to get here.
It's like they're angry at you or something.
And we're going and we're going and we're going. We're like, okay, hold on, right? Like, you guard me, right? Because by this point, like, he's lost his stego, right? I have like 20% health left on my T-Rex. Yeah. That's like super strong.
So is he just running around on foot then? No,
basically, yeah. He's just like using me as a shield, and sometimes he'll like pull guys, and it's just full of these types of dinos. I think they're pulverias or something like. I can't remember what they're called. and they actually like will grab you. and like pull, like they come up under the ground.
Okay.
And they'll like grab you and stuff.
That's a good name for them.
Yeah, they're basically like Wolverines.
Okay.
Right? They kind of remind you of Wolverines, but
Graboids, yeah.
that'd be awesome there. Yeah, we get there and we're like, okay, what's going on, right? So with like he's like kind of on my dyno. We start Googling it. We're like, oh shit, we're in like the snow cave, right? And we're like, oh, this is not good, right? Like not good. And then yeah, we lost everything. We had like
you were not ready.
We were not. We actually came with like ascendant level gear, which is like top tier, high level equipment.
So is this place just not ready for people then?
Oh no, it is.
Or is it because you had your difficulty cranked right the fuck up?
That was part of the problem because we're all of a sudden running into like naturally you could find like level 500 dinos.
Oh, geez.
Right, because when you tame a dinosaur in Ark, it actually gets a taming bonus, which is I think 25% or 30% of the levels, but it gets the efficient depending on how you tame it, reduces the efficiency of it. But yeah, it was a brutal experience, and I
let you out of the hole.
I have to go.
Discount, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
That's twice as a lot
Merry
for
Christmas.
being out of the hole in 1 year. We're not going to see him for another 6 months now.
All right, here we are. Okay, so it's official. Digital Fiasco here in December. Jack's running away again.
Pencil.
Oh, yes, of course. Can't forget that.
One job.
Because you need to scribble on... Huh? Oh, yes. All right. We'll get that going, too.
Howdy, everybody.
So, we're Digital Fiasco. My name's Dandr0id.
And I'm Jack McBastard.
And we're here for our December spectacular end of the year.
Digital Fiasco Live, episode 51. Almost a full 52.
Yeah, I know. It was really unfortunate. It kind of turned out that way. We almost had a full 52 there.
Well, also we started counting in like August, I think.
Shh,
So.
don't tell them that.
Yeah, so.
Yes, and he has a stapler? What's
The
this?
stapler was for the script.
There.
What do you think it was for? I wasn't
Where's the glass smashing?
What? Yes.
I threw the stapler. The glass didn't smash.
I didn't have the thing. I was busy stapling, or not stapling. How you doing?
I am excellent. How are you doing?
I am. It's Christmas. I mean, it's.
It's go
I'm
time.
on vacation. That's what I am.
Are you officially on vacation?
I am officially on vacation.
That is awesome. Because I have very limited vacation, unfortunately. So I'm going to enjoy
that a little strong.
I'm going to enjoy the fuck out of my vacation when I have it.
Ooh.
Which will be next week.
Is there whiskey in that?
No, don't be stupid.
It's probably just rum.
Rum.
It's pure rum.
It's a lot of rum. I mean, that used to be cola, and I see it's a little bit amber now. It's like kind of the shade of
Ambered up that cola.
Yeah. Woo boy. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It keeps the colds away. Yeah. How's everybody in the chat doing? Jack's Pale Cola. It's mommy's water. That's what that is.
Grandpa's old cough medicine.
In case Jack needs to staple. It's very, very true. So I see we have one of the staves, and we have of course James Marine in the chat. James Marine joined us last week for the week before.
Yeah, the week before
For the Game Awards. That was entertaining. He was like an old man shaking fisted clouds, like all these.
I mean, we all had our moment too.
Yeah,
but...
it's true. But him more than others with all the esports guys and the trending and
honestly, I mean, some of that stuff it's kind of hit
Sonic
and miss.
Fox.
I mean, hey, you know what? Again, like good for him. I'm glad that he can catch a following like that, and that this is actually being acknowledged in that way. I just don't know if their Oscar type night for the games was so much the place for it, but. I think what they should do is, I honestly think that they should have like an esports awards show, like where that's all dedicated.
They have
to...
that when they win the esport. That's how the awards ceremony works.
They don't get the fancy statuette to go with it.
Unless it's going to be one of those things where if they're going to award the same award to various other people, they should all play games of each other's games together to determine who wins. See, if you find out the Counter-Strike team is really good at Super Smash Brothers, then Sonic Fox is fucked.
Oh, so it'd be like an esports triathlon.
Exactly.
You like get up from your Counter-Strike computer, run over, play some Smash Bros, and then get up and run over and play Gran Turismo or something.
Didn't they used to do something like that where it was like a mystery game at the end or an unreleased game at the end that no one had seen before? I don't
know if they have.
It's a random.
God damn, we should do that. That would actually be really fun.
Game Olympics. Be like that stupid wacky racers.
Yeah.
Laugh Olympics. Anyway, that's a lot of goddamn rum in there. Anyway. So what are you playing these
days? Would you like
days?
to mix a little more there?
No. I'm
No,
sure.
you're good. You're going to power through?
Oh, it's got ice in it. That'll
Water it down.
that'll take care of it. That'll take the edge off. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that for Nintendo? That's what it was?
Yeah, then they had the one for the, what is it called? The Nintendo Power Championship or something like that. It was big in like the early 90s, and then they brought it back for like one round a couple of years ago, stuff like that. Just challenging on different things. It was like beat the first 3 worlds of Mario with 1 life and play Tetris to this certain point value and all that kind of stuff.
Tetris, right in its stupid face.
I love Tetris.
I mean, Tetris Effect is amazing.
I haven't had a chance to play that yet. Is it good?
Oh, it's super good, especially in the VR mode.
Yeah,
Like,
see, that was... I want to know if that actually enhances the game.
it does, and it's actually apparently a PlayStation exclusive somehow.
Oh, really?
Which I don't know how that works, but maybe because of the VR component, I don't know.
Jesus, be careful. Mention Laugh Olympics 2 or more times and speed bugging will appear.
T-minus 60 minutes before Jack is going to start telling us how he really feels.
I mean, that's usually T-minus 60 seconds. That's the show.
Drinking or no,
That's why we're here. Jack likes to tell you how he feels all the time.
Hi, Tron.
Right now.
Have we met? Jack McBastard. Yeah, I mean, if you're not telling you how
get
you
on your
feel.
soapbox and start shouting about loot boxes.
And your mother. No.
Your mother loves loot boxes.
So now that's a shirt. Your mother loves loot boxes. Anyway, what are you playing these days?
All right, so I'll skip that because I haven't finished Surge yet. I really want to. I'm going to finish it over the holidays, but
Okay.
I did play a bit more. Nothing really else to report on other than it's kicking my ass thoroughly, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
That's
so
kinda
that's
how that
great.
works.
But
Stockholm
I have
syndrome.
played 2 other games,
Whoa.
just completely like random. I got on like a super like Mega Man kick over the last couple weeks, and I ended up playing Mega Man 0 for the Game Boy Advance.
Sure.
Because I had never actually played any of those
I don't
before.
think I've ever played that one either, actually.
It's a little more... It's going more in that vein of like Metroidvania instead of being a proper like Mega Man game.
Sure.
But it really does its own thing, and I really appreciate it for that because it's a completely different experience. It like even in the art and the enemy style and the combat and everything like that, it's quite different.
Okay.
And then quickly, the other one I was playing was, of course, Mega Man X being one of my most favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
I had only found out recently that they actually had Mega Man X on the Game Boy Color.
Oh, yeah.
It was called Mega Man Extreme and Extreme 2.
I mean, it's sort of Mega Man X.
But that's the whole thing is that they, of course, had to rebuild it for the Game Boy Color because the Game Boy Color is pretty low power compared to what the Super Nintendo was putting out at that time.
Low power Game Boy Advance.
So like limited colors and stuff like that, but basically they did their best to make a bite-sized version of Mega Man X and put it on the Game Boy, and they did a fucking spectacular job of it. They had the music, they had so the way it works is it's kind of interesting. So the first time you play through the game, you only fight 4 bosses, and then you fight the couple Sigma stations or whatever.
Weird.
And then the second time you play it on hard mode, and you play another 4 bosses,
Like
and then
different 4 bosses.
4 different bosses, and
Okay.
then more Sigma levels, and then when you beat both of those, because when you do it the second time on hard mode, you keep all your stuff from the past game, so you keep your sub tanks, all your
Sure.
power ups and stuff like that.
So it's like a new game plus.
Yeah, it's like a new game plus. And then after you beat hard mode, you go to extreme mode, and it wipes your save file, but then you complete it like an actual Mega Man X game. So you have all 8 bosses and all the Sigma stages and everything like that right from the start. And you start with like no power-ups or anything like that. So
couldn't you have just played Mega Man X on hard?
there's no hard mode for it per se, but it was
just saying,
no,
it's
it was really interesting, and because they have an extra bit of story to it with a couple extra bosses to fight, because it's a different concept of how it is. So it's revisiting the X series, but it's through a virtual simulation, and there's other robots that are controlling it, so you end up fighting them too.
And
outside
halfway
of it.
through, you're replaced by Raiden.
And you also actually hang out with Zero in the game, because he has more sequences in the game where you talk to him, and not only do you get your power-ups for your armor, you get power-ups that you can actually use Zero in the game in certain sequences. So they added that. And then one of the weirdest parts is that they, instead of having the typical 8 bosses that they have from the X game, they replaced 2 of them with bosses from X2.
Sure.
And then when you play Extreme 2, they replace those other 2 from the first game. So it's so strange how they fucking did that.
It just sounds needlessly confusing.
I mean, it's, again, it's if you've played Mega Man X thoroughly, you'll know the game.
Okay.
Like, all the music's there, the levels are there, the boss is there, and it's a really, really impressive feat for such an old gaming system.
There was a mighty big holiday sale on PSN.
Yeah.
I think it's still on, actually.
It is,
but,
yeah.
But I was eyeing up the Mega Man X collections 1 and 2, and it's like
I said, you can borrow it if you want.
But it's like, I want this, but I actually have the original games, but it would be convenient. But when's the next time I'm going to play this? I just kind of went through it all in my mind and eventually just didn't.
Yeah.
Because whenever I get to it, I'm sure it will be down in price eventually. But
Yeah, I'd like to pick up Mega Man 11 still, actually, because I think that one's on for $20 right now or something.
yeah,
so.
I'd wait. You might be better off playing Fallout 76.
What? How dare you?
I've heard things. I
No,
don't know anything personally, but
I've personally seen a playthrough of it, and
Okay.
I'm more than excited to fucking play it. So
I hear that Mighty Number 9's a real whiz-bang deal.
Well, no, because I've personally played that, and it was fucking horrendous, and nobody liked it. So
Yes.
I don't know a single person that had anything nice to say about that game.
I don't even think the director liked it. I don't remember the guy's name, but
he's just burying his head in his pillow.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, Recore wasn't terrible, so at least that. But the other two that he made in that time period, not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah, so there's that, and then and as I had said, I played Mega Man Zero, which was just a completely different experience. Like, it reminded me more of playing
A different game.
like Castlevania Symphony of the Night almost. Like, it wasn't so interconnected with the map, but you do revisit locations, but you have more of like a hub system.
Okay.
And then you revisit a few of these levels, and then you go into like different places in these levels. So if it was all interconnected smoothly, it would basically be a Metroidvania game, but it has that kind of hitch where you transport to the levels instead from this hub that you start in. But outside of that,
Interesting.
you have your character. You start out with just like a little blaster, and then you get your Z sword, and then you get a Z saber also, and then you get like different attacks. And then as you use them more and more, those power up, and then you can get, of course, you get the attacks from the bosses that you kill and everything. But it's the weirdest thing, because when you fire up a Mega Man game, what's the first thing you see? You see a menu screen with all the bosses,
8 bosses,
and you pick which one you want to fight, and then that one's weak to that one, to that one.
Sure.
In this one, when you're talking to the chick before you go to a mission,
Yeah.
she's like, okay, pick a mission, and it literally throws like 3 or 4 like named missions at you. It's like defend the train or climb the tower or something,
That's
or
different.
stop hacking, or like, and you're like, oh, I don't know what this is going to do. And not all of them have boss fights in them, so it's really confusing.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
you're not really in control of what order you face the bosses in.
Yeah, like it'll literally, like, there's always like a bit of that weakness in there, because the way it works is that you'll get these kind of attacks, but the main thing that they're actually weak to is you get these elemental chips, and you actually get fire, electrical, and ice damage. And each thing that'll be a certain color, like if it's a green type enemy or has a bunch of green on it, it'll be weak to ice, I think. And then, of course, fire is weak to electricity, and then electricity is weak to fire or whatever. So it has like that kind of triangle thing to it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Shia LaBeouf as Mega Man in the Fox movie.
Oh, God, that would be fucking terrible.
Hey, man, people give Shia LaBeouf a lot of flack, but if he didn't ruin 2 of my favorite franchises, I'd watch him in other movies.
That's the thing. I will give it to him. He's entertaining.
He was entertaining enough in that Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, God, the
Indiana
Crystal
Jones
Skull.
and the search for more money.
The unwanted son.
Basically, the unnecessary sequel.
But yeah, so that's what I've been playing. I want to go forward and play more of them, because they actually made 4 Zero games. They have 2 ZX games, which were on the 3DS.
Wait, so Capcom made unnecessary sequels with weird names? I am shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked, sir.
But they're
Shocked and
not
surprised.
okay. It is Zero.
Yep.
So it's just a redesigned Zero, because it's like 100 years in the future or something like that.
Of course it is.
And then ZX is actually because you play Zero and X. And they're just like, again, redone, like remixed versions of them or whatever.
The shit writing ruined those franchises, not Shia's fault. I agree, Rurutu. I have to agree with that. Something that was entertaining about Indiana Jones the Crystal Skull said nobody ever.
Well,
That's true.
you heard it
Very
here
good,
first,
Jay
folks.
I mean, honestly, like, there were aspects, like, you can pick apart any bad movie, and there were good parts to it, like we had an argument about The Last Jedi, and there were good parts to it.
Yeah.
But like the whole return in the Crystal Skull to the iconic warehouse full of the crates. It's like that was a great visual.
Yep.
And then the rest of the movie was terrible. Aliens, come on!
It didn't take long.
It's like Bible, tribal thing, Bible, aliens. One of these things doesn't belong here. Anyway,
Tribal aliens.
Kalima. Anyway.
But anyways, yeah, so they were a lot of fun.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to playing some more of them because they are just those, because they're handheld ones, so they're those fun, like, smaller type adventures like that.
Sure.
And, yeah, look forward to playing that, and then finally finishing the Surge, and then I don't have to worry about when the Surge 2 comes out, because then
Surge.
I'll know what the fuck's going on.
So guess what I'm playing?
Red Dead.
I'm not. No, I'm done with Red Dead for a long time.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yes, because you did all your guides and
I will,
everything like that.
I will go back and play it again, sort of, for entertainment value.
I mean, you'll get back to it because you went back and played fucking Red Dead for like.
After I finished Red Dead the first time, I didn't play it again for I think 7 years.
Oh, really? I thought that was like a yearly one.
No. No, I mean certain games or like certain movies.
Well, because I know you go back and play like The Last of Us and Uncharted and stuff like that.
Even The Last of Us, I don't do very often. Like I haven't played it again since the re-release on the PS4, so I'm due. But things like, Band of Brothers, you can't just, I've got nothing to watch. I think I'll throw Band of Brothers on and then just ruin your fucking day. You watch that, it's like you have to be in a certain mood and a certain amount of time has got to go past since your last time.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with Red Dead. Like that ending, like that whole game was amazing. And the ending, of course, it was such a perfect encapsulation to it. You put it on the shelf. I didn't go back to it for a long time.
Being The Last Guardian. I think I have to give it another 5 years before playing it.
Jesus. Yeah, no, that ending, like, I mean, I don't like to, get emotional about things, but that was an emotional ending.
There's a very large animal involved. So, yeah, it definitely pulls at your heartstrings a little more.
It did. But anyway, so I am not playing Red Dead Redemption. I played a couple of things. I finally started on Spider-Man.
Okay.
I've gotten all of the collectible...
The backpacks.
Yeah, well, not those.
Okay.
There was the challenges you had to do, so I was worried that I was going to screw myself out of the trophy.
Yeah.
With the New Game Plus, you can start all over again. You get all brand new tokens. So I have all my suits. I have all my gadgets. I have all that. So that's done.
Yeah.
I still got to do all the collectibles and nonsense, but that's just, run around and pick shit up.
Yeah.
So I got to do all the DLC and stuff. That's later. What I'm also playing, last week, we got a code for Mutant Year Zero. That came out last Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that is a fantastic game.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that because it always looked interesting, but I was kind of in this mindset of like, this is kind of an unknown. It's a brand new IP. I want to see where this goes.
It's not a new IP. It's based on an RPG, like a pen and paper RPG.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of similar to the old Palladium Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RPG.
Oh, okay.
So you have like in the game, in Mutant Year Zero, you have 2 mutants, one named Dux, who is a duck.
It looks like Howard the Duck.
Right? And the other one is named Borman.
Okay.
So Borman or Boromir, however you want to put it. And then you can fill out the rest with other, I don't think they literally call them stalkers, although they might. But you go out from the last refuge of humanity into the zone where they have mutants and they have raiders and they have robots and shit, like the old world collapsed, essentially. So you're going out, you collect scrap, blah, blah, blah. The game plays sort of like XCOM, but instead of it just being map to map to map like XCOM, you go like map to your base, to your map, to your base, blah. You're actually, it's kind of like Diablo, because all the maps are linked.
Okay.
And before
you can like walk all the way to this one place.
Right.
Yeah.
But before you get into combat, you can actually use stealth to isolate individual guys.
Oh, nice.
And pick them off, like separate them from the group, pick them off, and you'll go into like a tactical combat, and then as soon as the guys who are aware of your presence are dead, it'll go back into a real-time, like a Diablo style move around. And yeah, so you like move all your guys individually, but you can do it stealthily. As long as you're not detected, you can set up an ambush and pick off guys one by one. And actually, it starts off rewarding it, but eventually, over the course of the game, you pretty much have to. What's also interesting is that about a third of the way through the game, you have to actually cause 2 separate factions that are not allied with you to fight each other in order for you to actually have a chance to get through the map. So you're actually causing fights between other people entirely and standing back and just picking off the remainders. It's like, as the maxim says, the best way to win a one-on-one fight is be the third guy to arrive.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. So you still have you have the upgrades, all your weapons can upgrade by you pick up scrap, you pick up stuff. There are add-ons you can get, like a scope. You can get different damage upgrades and stuff.
Yeah.
You have a tech tree for your mutant tree. So all your mutations are like your skills.
Yeah.
And you can pick and choose which skills your guy gets. And you have up to 3 guys in your party at a time, but you can get more. I've currently 4. I don't know how many you can get in total, but once they're dead, you either have to revive them before they die, or presumably it's like XCOM, and they're
gone.
Fucked.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a very interesting combination of things because you have the same characters. There's dialogue, there's a story, and they talk about stuff. And there's like environmental storytelling as well as you go through these areas, pick up scrap, blah, blah, blah. And it has the very same kind of XCOM strategy where you have your half cover, your full cover,
right?
Shoot from cover, Overwatch, blah blah blah. If you ambush guys, then you can, and you have silenced weapons as well.
Oh yeah.
If you can kill the guy before he returns fire and alerts people, you can go back into stealth and maneuver again. If it alerts people, you can hide, and kind of pull and on the fly ambush and maybe get a twofer. It's interesting.
Like XCOM, are you tapped out at 4 people in your party, or can you get more than that?
XCOM and XCOM 2 starts at, I believe, 4, and you can expand your squad. We're talking about the new XCOM, so like XCOM 2, XCOM Enemy Within. I'm pretty sure it starts off as 4 and it goes up to 6.
Okay.
And there's upgrades in your base. There's no base to manage in this. You're just guys going out into the wilderness and fucking shit up.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's all linked together. They're actual places, and you can find. There's essentially there'll be areas where you will be a locked door and you can't get to it, and then eventually you'll find a key and come back. And unlock
do all
the door.
keys unlock every door, or is there
no,
a rusty key, a dirty key?
Exactly. It's specific ones. The only problem I have with the game is that it starts off good and easy, and the difficulty suddenly goes ping, and it's right at the area where you have to make 2 factions fight. So it's possible I'm just not approaching it right, but it's suddenly gotten way more difficult. And every single area, even the optional areas, you have to do the optional areas in order to get a high enough level to keep going and keep advancing your character. So it's interesting. Ace Platinum says, also, what does guy on the right look like without his hat on? He looks bald.
And Discount responded with, he looks the same, just without a hat.
Well, he looks bald without a hat. I'm not sure if Ace Platinum knows you directly. It's
no, I don't know who it is.
He's not shy about it. It's just he's wearing his Nintendo hat today.
Yeah, I'm just wearing my 64 hat. So
yeah, little bit of glare from the lights in here.
Okay, well that sounds really fucking cool.
It is very cool.
I have to ask though,
yes,
because it's mutant-based combat.
Correct.
Is there any kind of mutation or gene manipulation in the game?
There is, your advancement tree in XCOM, you have your skills and whatnot. It's like that, except you are spending off your gene points or whatever it is. Okay. But yeah, there are some weird fucking mutations, like ducks.
But do they physically mutate though?
Kind of?
It was one of those things I wanted to see if Howard the Duck there, where you could get a scorpion tail on him or something.
Okay.
Or
No. But also, yes. Dux is kind of he starts off with a sniper rifle, and I've kind of built him up to be a sniper character. And his skill tree kind of lends itself to that.
Yeah.
There is one mutation in particular that I have just unlocked that gives him, bat wings.
Oh, okay.
And he, emerges with these mutant-ass wings, and you fly for a round. Mm-hmm. You can, take a shot, and then at the end of your turn, you'll just drop on whatever you happen to be hovering over.
Oh, okay.
But because some of the power-ups you get, or some of the individual components to your weapons you get, will affect like higher than your target will give you a better critical chance or whatnot.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so Dux has something like a 60% chance to crit when he's like above the guy.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
It's crazy. His weapon right now, not so great.
Yeah.
But I've only gotten so far in the game, I've only unlocked like a few weapons at the Arc, which is like your home base town area. But
so what are some of the other cool mutants that you've gotten then?
Borman, right now the only mutants I have, and I think the only mutants that are there, it might be a plot point, but Borman and Dux have talked about the fact they've never seen any corpses in the wilds except for humans or bandits or robots or whatever, but they're the only two mutants so far that are in the game.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming eventually that like the mutants are all evil and we're the exceptions and blah blah, and we're gonna have to fight like a shitload of random mutants. But I don't know. I haven't seen them yet. But right now we're the only two mutants in the game. The other guys are actually mutants, but they're like humanoid mutants. They're like mutants with psionics and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Like the woman I got, I think is just she's just a stealthy person, and the other guy is like a weird kind of psychokinetic mind controlling guy who I have not yet actually used or put in the party, but I probably should.
You scared of him?
I mean, I have my core group right now. They're like leveled up, but you know, once you mix up the party, it gets weird. It's hard enough as it is without trying to figure out how the fuck to do stuff. Anyway, the other thing I got, and I'm just going to talk about it briefly, but I picked up the Sega Ages version of Phantasy Star on the Switch.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and it's nice to have like the map right there, and it has all the stats and the like all the item lists and everything else in it.
It's the game that you love, but with everything modernized to make it just that much more playable.
Yes, I mean I can play it on the PS3 because it was part of the Sega, the Sonic Genesis collection, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a hidden game in that, so PS...
You had to like beat some of the other games to unlock it or something
Yeah,
like
it was
that?
a weird thing. So Phantasy Star 1 is in there, and you have 2, 3, and 4 that are overtly unlocked. If the Switch version had all 4 in it, I would have bought it immediately again, just to have on like a modern screen, but it's just a pain in the ass to break out the PS3 and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, but yes, Phantasy Star is still an awesome game. The Sega Ages version is very good. I hope they do that for the other 3. That'll be great.
I think it'll come down to, if enough people buy it and they're like, hey, there's money to be made here.
Okay, so we've talked about our games that we've played far too long. It's we're now talking
it's
about...
end of the year episode.
It is. End of the year episode. So Digital Fiasco Live, episode 51 for December the 17th. We're going to talk about our Game of the Year stuff at the end of the year. Right now, however, we're going to talk about disc downloads and DLC for basically the end of the year.
Yeah. I honestly don't even know what's coming out. Like, what are they releasing at the end of the year here?
So the Triple D.
Yes.
There are like 6 things that I wrote down as being above the rest.
Well, this one might be kind of fun for people who still own a Vita. The Atari Flashback Classics. I
mean, not that
Jack
there's
shaking his head.
Not that there's anything wrong with owning a Vita, but anyone who wanted to play Atari Flashback Classics have probably purchased that on one of the 17 systems it's been available for. Like, I like Sinistar the same as the next guy, but after Defender and Sinistar and Centipede and Robotron and Defender... Did I say Defender?
Nope.
Pac-Man's Namco... Atari. What the fuck else would be on the Atari? I don't even know. Pitfall.
Yeah.
Pitfall was a good game.
That was one of my
enjoyed
favorites.
Pitfall.
Okay, obviously one big one, Marvel Spider-Man, the final DLC,
Correct.
Silver Lining.
That'll be on the 21st. Yes.
Yeah.
City That Never Sleeps. I haven't even started the thing yet. I have access to it now.
Well, the nice part is that you're going to be able to just fire through the whole thing.
Yeah, it's true. But you know what?
I do know what
the last DLC does not have in it.
Just don't. There's no need for that rage at the end of the year. It's Christmas.
I think they had 9 extra suits. They had a whole game.
Okay,
25-something fucking suits.
Clearly,
they had 3 DLCs with 3 suits each.
Clearly, we know that they're holding the Venom suit back for Spider-Man 2. I'll give them that. Because it is going to be an amazing fucking game when it comes out.
Well, I mean,
and you're going to have all the Black Spider-Man action that you want.
Why has it got to be a Black Spider-Man?
Because that's the one that you're requesting.
Symbiote suit should be... that should be part of every game that allows you to change your suit. That's ridiculous.
But yeah, so that's that one's coming out.
And
And
let the hate flow through you,
yeah.
Jeff. Tron's going to be, like always, two there are, a master and an apprentice. Tron, unfortunately, seems to think he's the master. And I think my hatred is stronger than his. I'm going to strike him down and become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
There's Warhammer Vermintide 2,
Yes.
which I hear is quite fun, actually.
The first one is very good.
Yes, Discount is a big fan of that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
They gave it away on Humble Bundle, I think, at one point. Did they
Oh,
not?
really?
I think so.
I didn't catch that one.
The original one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vermintide, like, out of the blue, like, 40K is always popular.
Of course.
The fantasy stuff, not so much in terms of PC games. Like, there was, like, Shadow of the Horned Rat ages ago. There was, there were a couple of ones that were, like, Warhammer Fantasy Battle. There were, but Vermintide in particular, like, a lot of people really enjoyed that.
They nailed something with the gameplay because it's so just fast and crazy, and
Right.
it's completely different than normal stuff you'd be playing.
Right. Yeah, that's a really bad typo. I don't know how you manage that.
What's
It's just a really weird speech impediment.
Wheeze, Jack.
Yeah, it's like, what accent would that be? Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I don't know anything else big
Oh,
because
yes.
you had a few things on your list there.
Well,
so.
for Xbox One owners, Donut County,
That's a completely different game.
taking the O out of country. Donut County. I don't know if it's country or county. I'm pretty sure it's
I
county.
think it's county.
Donut County. For the Xbox One, that came out. It's out for the PS4. It's out for PC. It's like reverse Katamari.
That is a fun as balls
This
game.
is a fun
too.
game. Actually, the Katamari game for Switch came out last week, and I'm really
that's right, yeah.
I'm really struggling to not buy that too.
It's always a good time.
It's a super fun game.
Yeah.
Donut County coming soon from Penthouse Games. No.
I'll play any version of Katamari at any time.
I
They're
wish they
all
would
good.
do a modern one for PS4. Honestly.
I mean, yeah, they're kind of reaching that limit now. They need to bring out a fresh one.
or even like a PS2 to PS4 one of the PS2 games, like
I'm
anything.
actually kind of
really.
surprised they never brought out like a collection of them.
Yeah.
Like here, put 4 Katamari games on a disc or
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, you go to all that trouble, and the King of all Cosmos would just hate it. I guess it's a pretty good collection.
Or you take all the games, you roll them into
Yeah.
one disc, and then you throw them into the sky, and it makes a tiny little shiny
I
planet.
guess that's some games.
The guy's an asshole.
Never enough for him.
No.
Father issues. It's Donald Trump's favorite game. Road Redemption comes to Xbox One on the 19th. R-Type Dimensions EX comes to PS4.
Oh, nice.
That is a game that actually has all of the levels from R-Type and R-Type 2, like going back to the TurboGrafx.
So it's like a
Sega
remix,
Master
like they're
System.
just all in the same game now?
Right, yes, but it's like remastered and it looks like better than the original arcade games. I was a huge R-Type fan back in the day, so
I think everyone does.
yeah, R-Type was
It
amazing.
was basically R-Type and Raiden for me, like
Yep.
as far as shmups go.
Yeah, actually, there was one, and we've talked about it before, but the name is funny, called Slap Fight.
Slap fights.
Slap Fight, but it was kind of like Gradius, where you would upgrade your guy, like you would have like the meter across the bottom, and
Yeah.
it would have different power ups. Slap Fight was a vertical like Raiden, but it would add on like you'd have like things like would slap on to the outside of your ship.
yeah.
So eventually your ship would be like that wide on the screen,
And you were
be
just
a massive
wave of
wall
death.
of fire. Yeah, it would still be a bullet hell. So if you hit any of your external edges, it would like destroy them.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You would have such a huge wave of fire to be almost impossible. Anyway, Sundered Eldritch Edition comes to Xbox One, which is like a great Metroidvania game for those Vita players out there. They've already played it. It's available for Xbox One as of the 25th. Pardon me, the 21st, excuse me.
Cool.
So that one is a great game. But you can check out PSU.com for all the week's other releases for PS4, all the random indies that I did not pick up as it being anything interesting.
You know what?
Not
honestly,
that they aren't, but there's just so many sometimes.
There's a ton of them, and
Yep.
and sometimes you see some cover
Yep.
art, and you're just like, I don't even know what that is. I have to go in
Yep.
and check a YouTube video of like just to figure out what it is. But
Speaking of which, PSU really want you to start doing the indie loop. They want you to because we turn away.
you need that indie cover.
We turn away so many keys because there's just not people to play stuff.
Okay, all right. I have been acknowledged. So
Yes, absolutely.
okay, cool.
We have some anti-releases.
Oh, really?
Yes.
End of the year anti-releases.
End of the year anti-releases. Well, you remember Unreal Tournament, right? They've been working on that for a
Absolutely.
while.
I was
Yeah.
actually a huge fan of
Were
the
you looking
previous,
forward?
the previous ones.
You're
not
looking
the-
forward to the new one?
Not so much.
Well, too fucking bad because it's not coming out. They canceled it.
They straight up canceled
the
it?
shit out of it.
Really?
Yeah, there's a demo for Katamari Damacy Reroll. Oh, interesting. Pictures of PS4 and Xbox One controllers were data mined from the demo. I mean, granted, that could be part of the SDK, but I would be very enthusiastic to play that again on the PS4.
Well, and I mean, we're in the eras of like remasters and remakes right now, so I would not be surprised if that did end up happening, especially because Katamari, like, it's a beloved game.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of them, and none of them are bad per se. Like
I've never
the same
played a
concept
bad
again
game.
and again.
Yeah.
And they're very basic looking in what they do. So I mean, it wouldn't be much to like bring them all onto one disc.
And
really.
yet it still takes a certain skill.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's what Bandai...
It's a fun to play but hard to master or whatever.
Yeah, basically.
Like, yeah.
That's a Bandai Namco one?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I love those ones where you start off like microscopic and roll up the universe.
Oh yeah, by the end of the last level or the second last level, you start like inside a building under a table, and then by the end of it, you're rolling up like continents.
You can't pick up pencil erasers, and suddenly you're rolling up Godzilla and mountains.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
And planets and suns.
It's one of those things that if you're one of those people that likes to watch those videos of like oddly satisfying, of people like cutting things perfectly and things like shapes fitting into other shapes perfectly, like this is one of those games that's like perfect like that.
I guess it does like take a certain. It's weird. Like I don't know how to quantify that skill set, but it's very.
Oh, it's spatial awareness and visual awareness too, because you have to understand what is slightly smaller and slightly bigger than what you're rolling up and everything.
And also, you have to remember like a million tiny things in a three-dimensional environment.
And honestly, you got to have that gamer tenacity, because
you're
going to be able to beat the game, no problem, but to get the good score and to get the King of All Cosmos to actually acknowledge your existence,
he never will.
You're going to have to do amazing every fucking time, and you will be replaying those levels a lot.
You could roll him up, and he'd be like, "Oh, I guess it's pretty big." He's just nothing's good enough for him. All right, let's get to the news. So, a fantastic end to 2018. Sega has confirmed that Project Judge Eyes is coming west. So it's been officially confirmed for Western and European release in 2019. Mm-hmm. The English title, the new title, is called Judgement.
Okay.
So it's going to be...
Not Eye of Judgment?
Nope, just Judgment.
Eyes Judgment.
It would be a logical thing, right? I would like to see a sequel to that one day, too.
Believe me.
Yeah. But anyway, it is again, but in VR.
Oh my God, yes.
Right? Anyway, so it's again being directed by Yakuza designer Toshihiro Nagoshi and his leathery face. Love the guy to death, but Jesus Christ, stop tanning. He looks like a saddlebag.
It's just gonna like sluice off his face.
Right. But you want to talk about it, like if there was any developer I would not want to fist fight, it would be that guy.
No, I guarantee that guy carries 10 knives on him at all times.
He probably has actual Yakuza on speed dial. Anyway, so it is a legal thriller set in the Yakuza world. It's actually an actual spin-off of Yakuza. It does take place in Kamurocho.
Okay, that's cool.
I thought I saw a guy who might have been from the Yakuza franchise, but I wasn't sure. But it's entirely a side story. It doesn't actually intersect with the Yakuza story as far as I can tell. But it follows private detective Takayuki Yagami, who investigates a serial murder case. So I guess it's the thing he never managed to prosecute or blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't know. The main character is actually...
save you a lot of time. It was Samurai Goro.
Damn it.
It's always him.
No. The main character is played by actor Takuya Kimura, who is actually known to me, strangely enough. He played the captain of the Space Battleship Yamato live-action movie.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty cool. He was a good actor in a ridiculous movie. It was actually not a bad movie, but it was ridiculous.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous.
It's Space Battleship Yamato. Like, it's...
I mean, that's the thing, is like you can't get around the fact that it is fucking ridiculous.
But, within a certain subset of acceptable parameters, right? So, anyway. It came out last week in Japan. It's coming out in summer of 2019 for PS4 in North America and Europe.
That's cool. So you don't have to wait that long for it.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to fill my summer right there. Unless they actually do release, like, Yakuza 3 in that period, in which case I'll be like, fuck. All right.
You just play them both.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just back to back.
All right. So, the PlayStation Classic.
Yeah.
It's been having some
issues.
Interesting sort of difficulties. It's got some weird sort of idiosyncrasies. Anyway.
I like to call it piss poor sales.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Sprite graphics will never go out of style, right?
No, of course not.
So your Super Nintendo, your Super NES Mini, that'll be great. But I love, at the time, the original Wipeout, the original Siphon Filter. I mean, because it was all cutting edge.
Yeah, of course.
Now it's like having sand in your eyes. So,
well, that's the part that I never really understood about like why they did it the way that they did it, because
cheaper.
Like, well, I mean, okay, yes, okay, so there's a certain value get on that.
Yeah.
So
for $100, it's not a bad deal, right?
The problem is that I think for that range, for that price range,
yeah,
they should have given us a little more.
Really, for $100, they gave you Final Fantasy VII. They gave you
no. I don't mean the games.
Metal Gear Solid.
I'm saying that like what they did was they basically just dumped in the lowest grade, cheapest hardware they could into this thing, because there have been plenty of people that have been reporting online that the games that are emulated run even worse than the actual PlayStation 1 games did back in the day. Like,
to be fair, some of them were actually the PAL version, so they run at 50 hertz instead of 60.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, that affects frame rate, right?
If you are putting a product out the door that is to compete with other mini systems of Nintendo variety, make sure it fucking works before you do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were a couple of design decisions. They could have put a little more horsepower into it, especially because it was emulated. Yeah, I think there were a couple of design decisions that could have been different.
I've played emulated N64 games.
Yes.
And they look fucking spectacular.
Well, the N64, though, is a more powerful system as well.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, is you get that emulation. Polygons, yes. Okay, old school polygons like PlayStation 1.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't look great. But if you have some hardware to upscale it, make it run a little smoother,
then
these
it looks
games
like
can
smoother
still,
garbage.
Well, they can run better. There's not as much screen tearing and stuff like that. It just makes it generally more playable.
Yep. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they obviously can't go back and change that now.
Well, no, it's out there now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to do.
I just wish that they would have gone in a little deeper the first time and actually made it a better system.
For $100, if I can play Metal Gear and Final Fantasy VII, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah, but I mean, you can go like
I can just go and grab them from the library.
I was gonna say.
Play them on the PS3.
Some of them you can buy on the Android store.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different variations of them now.
I still have my fat PS3 that plays all the old reverse compatibles or backwards compatibles. So, yeah.
No, Tactics is not on.
It was not. No,
I know.
Tactics would have been too expensive to get.
That's the whole thing.
I think Final Fantasy VII. I think the only reason they got that one was because it was actually published by Sony at the time. Anyway, so it turns out that if they plugged in a USB keyboard into the PlayStation Classic, they actually had access to a hidden emulation menu.
Oh, really?
And through that, they dumped part of the code. They found out that there were like 36 games that they had built hooks for. They were trying to, I guess, narrow down what they were going to put in it.
Oh, okay.
So there were a bunch of other things in there that were options like Tomb Raider 1 and 2 and stuff. And people were like, oh, are they actually on there? They weren't.
No.
I mean, the ISOs were not on there. The references to the images were there. So the belief
they
was...
They probably literally had them on there, and they're like, okay, these ones are going away, right? So they just pulled them but left the files on there or whatever.
It's like licensing, and what fits, like size and cost and how well it ran. I'm sure there's a lot of different considerations. Sony chose their list. A lot of people argue about whether it was a good list or a bad list, but you're never going to satisfy everyone.
No, of course not. I mean, you're tightening it down to 20 games from one of the best-selling consoles of all time. So you're never going to get like a list that makes everybody happy.
I don't know what Rainbow Six was doing on there. The PS1 version of that was garbage, like hot garbage.
It might have been one that they got for free.
Possibly. Ubisoft said they'll throw it in with Rayman.
There you go. That was probably it.
Yeah. Anyway, so...
Yeah, and remember, too, if you do hook up a PS Classic to an RTX 2080 Ti and use DLSS upscale graphics 4K, That would be some shiny ass turds there.
I think that kind of violates the whole $100 to play PlayStation games format. But anyway, they've already hacked it. Apparently, the actual system
people will
itself,
hack anything.
You
bring out a $20 smartwatch from China, and people will run Doom on it the next day.
Apparently, some guy actually has already installed Raspberry Pi on it. So,
of course, yeah.
But anyway, it doesn't perform any kind of signature check on the software. So you can put, like, once you hack the actual software itself, you can put any ISO on there.
You're basically rooting the system, and then...
Well, it's EPSX, right? It's like the emulator is right on there.
It's literally an emulator that you can download from a ROM place. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy that, again, that they just went that basic with it.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, there's, like... Yeah. Apparently, they made it so easy to hack that they were hoping... I honestly don't...
Do you think that was maybe...
I'm kind of thinking...
Maybe, in the back of their mind, they're like, you know what?
Yep.
This isn't turning out the way we want it, so let's just make it really easy to hack, and then when people find out, it's like, oh, it wasn't our fault, and then more people will buy it because it's so easy to hack.
You think about it, like the PSP, you hack the PSP, they can't sell their software, the system dies. You hack the PlayStation Classic... There is no software to buy, so it's strictly hardware purchase.
So people buy it because it's a cool little PlayStation in their hand, and then they can just go download ISOs from somewhere that Sony wasn't going to make money off of anyways.
Maybe.
And then they make money off the system.
It seems like an unlikely sequence of events.
Marine is demanding that you finish your drink and get another one.
Why? Like, this thing holds like a liter of cola. A liter cola. Yes.
Do we sell liter of cola? I don't know. I think Discount is getting the Coke for already. So.
About 4/5 of that was rum. So
it's a good ratio.
Well, it was not like. Yeah. Why is all the rum gone? Anyway, so okay. So the PlayStation Classic has some alternate sales strategy. We'll just say. Anyway, interesting news though. Just this week, I'm good. Just this week, we have heard there are going to be remakes of Panzer Dragoon, Panzer Dragoon, and Panzer Dragoon Zwei. Or Panzer Dragoon 2, depending on. But it is Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei, actually, is the way it's actually written on the box.
Okay.
But it's called Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei Remake. The Panzer Dragoon will actually... the remake will launch by the end of 2019. They're forming a partnership with Forever Entertainment and Sega to create these remakes. The new version of the game will be characterized by completely new graphics, compatible with today's standards, they say, and several modifications of the game, making it more attractive to modern players while remaining faithful to the original in terms of story. The first materials of the game will be presented in the upcoming months, they say.
That one's an odd one in my mind. I remember playing it.
It's a good action game.
On the Saturn.
Yeah.
It was a fun game at the time.
Right.
It obviously looked great because it was the Saturn. It was a 32-bit system. It was blowing everything else out of the water as far as its looks. But thinking back to like what you actually did in it and kind of like what the gameplay was and everything like that, I don't know. Like
it was entertaining enough.
It was.
It's a bullet hell game.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess this is going to be more for the fans than to bring in a bunch of new people. Be like, hey, look at this old gem kind of thing.
Well, I mean, you know what I would like to see,
because it was more or less a bullet hell rail shooter kind of thing.
Because you could move like within your.
It was like
Space Harrier,
like Star Fox also. Like
Space
you flew within a column or you flew within like a tunnel kind of area.
Same deal.
Yeah.
Yep. Here's the thing, though. If they were going to remake Panzer Dragoon, I would like to see Sony remake the similar yet far superior Omega Boost.
Oh, yeah, I remember that
one. Which was
an
amazing game.
Yeah.
And also had a fantastic theme song and live, like, CGI full motion video opening with live actors and stuff.
I don't even remember any of that.
Oh, my God.
The only thing I remember about Omega Boost is it had a great commercial.
Yeah.
There was a really cool action figure for it, and then I remember playing the demo of it at Toys R Us on the demo unit, like the TV that they had hooked up there.
Jay Tanuki, do me a favor and look up on YouTube the Omega Boost opening sequence with full motion video, because that is still a classic to this day.
Is it like classic in the way that like the Command and Conquer cutscenes are classic? Like, is it like hammy and schlocky, or is it?
It's not. It's actually pretty cool.
Oh,
like
okay.
it reminds me a lot of kind of the video you'd see of like Gundam Gunhead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's that same sort of CG live action pastiche. It's interesting. Like it looks like a live action version of an anime.
That's cool.
It's very cool. It is a weird thing.
Tron's having audio issues.
Yeah, I
but
think
he's the only one.
I think Jay Tanuki's got it. Yeah, he's tossing like a vacuum tube. That's the one.
Yep.
As long as it has the right audio, because it is the song "Fly" by a band who I literally only know this song from. I don't know.
Probably the only thing they wrote.
I mean, no, I'm sure they've had a long and varied career, but
not Sugar Ray.
No, not Sugar Ray.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Wow, Sugar Ray is a Bullet Hell soundtrack.
Just the song "Fly" though, because
I
that's
just wanna fly. No.
just jamming out and your big mech shooting everything.
No. Anyone who wants to go out and I think Jay Tanuki's got the URL there. Should have posted, but yeah. Fantastic thing. Anyway, I really hope that if these do well and they're at a decent price, that it prompts them to then go on and remake Panzer Dragoon Saga, which was like the very rare RPG that I had for a while for the Saturn, but I think I
Did it? So it was an RPG?
It was an RPG.
So it didn't play at all like the other games?
No,
then?
you still had to do some of the flying stuff, but there was RPG elements to it as well. You were building up a character going from like hub to hub to hub.
Oh, okay.
But you had to fly between them and shoot stuff between them. So it was interesting, but I came to it late, back when I already had like a Dreamcast at that point.
Okay.
So going back to the Saturn,
Yeah.
for some games is okay.
From a 128-bit system to a 32-bit system that was like first gen. Yeah, that can be a little rough.
I could still play Dragon Force and like Guardian Heroes, but when you go into anything with polygons, So yeah, it was very interesting, but really needed a modern remake. But Panzer Dragoon Saga, I think they also only made something like 5,000 or 10,000 in North America, like something stupidly restricted.
Yeah.
But so
it might have been one of those ones that just didn't sell hot enough, but they were like, well, it's made anyway, so just here you go.
No, it sold a lot. Everything that was made, they sold. I bought mine on eBay for like, I think $200.
Okay.
And I turned around and I sold it for $350 about a year later.
One of those ones that just kept kind of climbing.
Yeah, like it's a really rare but interesting and good game if you can get past the graphics, which I had some difficulty with. Anyway, but I really hope they remake that eventually with modern graphics, because the gameplay and the story were actually really interesting.
Yeah, I guess it'll come down to how well those ones sell. If nobody buys it, then obviously there's no market for it.
I also find it kind of encouraging that Sega's open to third parties approaching them and saying, oh, we want to take this property, we're going to form a partnership, we're going to remake it.
Right.
So that leaves the door open for Obsidian to make Alpha Protocol 2. Cough.
Or maybe someone could just dive in and actually make a good Sonic game.
Oh, Sonic has been... Oh, my God. It's like, how many times can you resurrect that corpse? Actually, wasn't the most recent one decent? I heard.
You know what? Sonic Forces was not bad.
Okay.
It was...
If you like Sonic games?
If you like Sonic games, and the funny part about, like, you have to give it to Sega and Team Sonic, especially because they're leaning into their fandom rather than saying, like, don't, like... You know, quit fucking with our mascot, quit memeing him up, and quit doing these terrible things, like all these sex jokes and everything like that. They're, like, leaning into it. So, like, when you play Sonic Forces, the whole reason Sonic Forces exist is so that you can have your own Sonic persona. Like, the entire point of the game is so you can make
I'm sorry, did you say fursona?
That's the term. That's what furries call their character. Anyways, so in that game... That is the entire point of the game. You know how Dragon Ball Xenoverse, you make your own character and you intertwine with the storyline? That's what you do in Sonic Forces. You make your own character and you hang out with Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and everyone. And then they have a bunch of ridiculous costumes you can put on them and everything. So they made this game for the fans because they knew that's exactly what they wanted.
Janus Marine says Sonic and the Black Knight remastered. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, Janus Marine and San Diego.
You couldn't spend enough man hours or money or anything to remaster that into a playable game. You honestly couldn't.
That song haunts my dreams.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
All right, speaking of games I wish would have sequels as well as haunting my dreams, Sledgehammer founder and Dead Space creator has left Activision, which is Glenn Schofield. 10 years ago, he left EA Visceral. He went to form Sledgehammer Games at Activision. They've been working on Call of Duty mostly. So they worked on like Modern Warfare 3 and I think Advanced Warfare, and I think they did World War II. That was their 3 that they did over the last 10 years, basically.
Yeah.
So he says he'll be leaving Activision at the end of December. He's going to take some time off and relax, and then he'll see what happens next.
Where he ends up on the other side.
I just hope EA says, hey, you remember that Dead Space game you used to make?
All right. Now, question.
Yes.
Would you prefer it if EA called him up and said, hey, did you want to make Dead Space 4? Or he started his own developing company and he made his own, kind of successor to Dead Space.
I mean, I'm not really invested in survival horror as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, Resident Evil is kind of hit and miss for me. Dead Space just kind of really, it captured something.
It filled that niche between shooter and survival horror.
Well, it was so atmospheric, like, no pun intended, but like it was so much better than Resident Evil or any of the other survival horrors at the time, and even, to be frank, even Dead Space 3 is still kind of above most Resident Evil games. And that, one game has to be the worst one. That just happened to be it. Anyway, I don't know. Like, it would have to be really good, but I'd really like to see a Dead Space 4 regardless of how it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. That said, I don't know if him being part of an independent studio is necessarily the answer, because not only was he the creator and executive producer on Dead Space, apparently something I didn't know.
Yeah.
He also directed Blood Omen 2: Legacy of Kain.
Oh, really?
Blood Omen 2 was the one that we don't talk about in the Legacy of Kain universe. It was
that was the cheese-tastic action movie one, wasn't it?
It wasn't great. It was unusual. Like, out of all of them, that's the one that does not belong. But also, he also made Akuji the Heartless for the PS1, if you remember that game.
Yes, I do remember that one.
So it's like, that's such a weird combination of good and bad things. I don't know what to make of him.
Again, it's one of those things that comes down to, it could have been time crunch, it could have been money, it could have been, it could have been like his own personal problems, it could have been the team he was working with.
Well, Blood Omen 2 was a bunch of things.
I mean, that's typically what it comes down to. It's usually not one thing, it's a mix of things.
Yeah, no, it was many, many things, because it was not a good game.
No.
So SNK, we all love SNK.
Of course.
Going all the way back to the Neo Geo. At their IPO press conference in Seoul, they actually gave some more information about the brand new Samurai Shodown game.
Okay.
So coming in 2019, we heard about that, I think, back in September.
Yeah, because I guessed it when we had that timer website, and you said, it just has this one clue, and I was like, that sounds like a Samurai Shodown
Well, I mean,
thing.
SNK, there's only so many choices, right? But Samurai Shodown, everyone loved Samurai Shodown back in the day. It turns out that it was announced as a 2019 for PlayStation 4 title in September.
Okay.
But it's actually it's being developed for Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC apparently, and it's going to be out in second quarter 2019. So sometime in the spring.
Interesting.
Yep. So
Sweet. Well, I'm looking
Samurai
forward to that
Shodown
one.
for everyone. Yeah, what was the?
They haven't shown anything of it yet. Like,
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you know what Samurai Shodown is
Well, no,
going
but
to
that's
be,
the thing
right?
is I'm interested to see what the art style they go
Yeah.
with. SNK, it'll probably be the beautiful, like, hand-drawn anime-esque kind of thing.
Right.
But, again, I would be totally interested, too, if they kind of took a Street Fighter V route
Right.
with the kind of cel-shaded. They still look painted, but it is still fully 3D. So I'm interested to see what they actually do with the art style.
Speaking of Street Fighter V,
Yeah.
we're going to circle around back to that
sure.
later. They did some really, really scummy shit.
Okay.
We're coming back to that. But anyway, talked about the leak that happened with a guy stealing 30 copies of Kingdom Hearts 3 and tried to sell them on Facebook Marketplace of all places.
What a dumb
I know.
fuck.
It's kind of funny. We were talking about this actually on a PSU call I had last week. We actually on a channel talking about this, and it turns out the guy he had apparently was like one of the distributors. He had stolen like a whole box of Kingdom Hearts 3. He's selling them on Facebook, but he won't mail it to you, I guess, because that's an offense of some kind. Yeah. Like mailing stolen property. But he will meet you with it. which I don't know how is smarter. I can only imagine that right now the top bidder on all of his auctions are the FBI or Interpol. I don't know what geography he's in, but how is that a better plan? There are some stupid ass fucking people in this world.
Yeah. Well, I hope that guy gets fucking run up the pole for that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, you know, it happens when you have people in like distributors or in like warehouses like Amazon or the post office. Whenever stuff goes missing, it does not take long to track back to who had access to what.
Exactly.
Right? And it always fucks up.
Yeah.
You know,
you never get away with that because there's such a tight chain of command on that it's like they're going to figure out where that leak is.
Yeah. So, good luck to that guy.
SEAL Team 6 is on their way.
Yeah. Hopefully, if you like Kingdom Hearts 3, you're going to avoid the internet for the next 2 months.
Yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate part, too, is that apparently a few people did get their hands on these, and there are some people that are trying to spoil some shit about it, so... I guess about the only saving grace of that is that the storyline is so fucking confusing that if they try to say something about it, you'll be like, I don't remember that.
The good news is, if I read a spoiler now, having not yet started the story
that'll
so far...
push all that right out the other side. And
like, by the end of that, I'll be like, pooh!
Yeah. You won't even remember that there was a Kingdom Hearts 3.
It'd be like a old school Garand, like, ping! And just the clip will punk. Okay, so... Are you a fan of Soulja Boy?
Oh, who isn't? Superman that hoe.
I mean, how could you not be a fan of Soulja Boy? Famous rapper and entrepreneur.
Oh, yes. So what's he getting into exactly? I kind of heard his whispers of his name over the past couple of days, but I didn't know why. Yeah. I know he is a huge gaming fan.
He's a huge gaming fan.
Plays a lot of streams and stuff like that.
A lot of streams. He's a huge gaming fan. He has gotten into... hardware sales, we'll say.
Okay. Does he have stolen copies of Kingdom Hearts 3?
I'm not going to say yes. I don't know. But let's just say he's on his website, which is, I think, Soulja Boy Watch, I think it is.
Okay.
.com. He's selling a lot of, we'll say, Chinese-y looking hardware.
Okay.
And I mean, that
Is
sounds...
it these, like, multi-game systems and stuff like that?
Yes. Now that sounds like an ethnic thing. It's not. It's a piracy thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there are distinctly Hong Kong Chinese knockoffs where, like, the...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, where the copyrights are a little bit hazy.
Well, what they've done is they've taken a real system, broken it down, copied the shell, like they've made their own mold of it, made it out of super cheap plastic.
Well, it's a Panaphonic.
It's a genuine Panaphonic.
It's a Sony.
And they made it out of, like, you know, cheaper plastic, different color.
Sure.
They made the controller the same, but it has, like, weird button faces on it. And
So the original unit, and we kind of over the past couple of weeks, this has come up. He's selling a handheld unit, the Soulja Boy... Soulja Boy handheld is
made
called.
Of best Chinesium and titanium.
Chinesium and titanium. Oh!
Give that man the $10,000. Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, Jay Tanuki,
Thank you.
Don't link that. We don't want people to buy his shit.
Oh, no, they're just going to go there and laugh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Our fans know better.
So, yeah, I think Tron's got comment of the day.
Yeah.
Titanium alone, I think, is... That's a good one. Oh, no, they're all on sale, Jay Tanuki. So get this. So the handheld is 3,000 built-in games with a 3-inch color display.
Yeah.
So that's obviously 100% legit.
All 3,000 of them?
3,000 games, 100% legit. He has now expanded his offering because I guess, you know, Interpol hasn't yet contacted him. He is now offering 3 additional consoles.
Okay.
Because he is a master entrepreneur.
So they have a handheld.
Correct.
And these are these like home consoles?
That is right. Well, first they have the Soulja game console.
Okay.
Very well named. It is $199, which is a very reasonable price,
Okay.
but on sale for a scant $149.
Okay, so $50 off.
Yes. The controllers look obviously like a PlayStation shell, modified slightly.
Like the dual analog one? or-
Yeah, but the box that they plug into really looks like an Xbox One. The funny thing is that there's no...
Buy one, get 3 free.
Right? And there's no CD slot at all.
I'm looking at the picture right now.
It's
and
just an SD card.
Yep.
So that seems super above board. So on top of the Soulja game console, you can also buy the retro Soulja Boy Mini,
Okay.
which is $99 on sale for a bargain price of $60.
Looks exactly like
Yeah.
a clear Game Boy.
Clearly a Game Boy. But it comes with a free 8 gigabyte micro SD card with 508 games.
Woo! That's a lot of
Yes.
games.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it has an SD card, but if you look at the back, clearly has a cartridge slot. Like the design of it, like it should have a cartridge slot.
Yeah. Obviously, they just filled
Right?
it in when they were repurposing the plastic.
So it's got the contours in the back where the cartridge should go. The manual has fucking Mario on it.
Are you fucking kidding
I'm
me?
not joking. Look at the manual.
Do you have a picture of that?
It's
too,
got
Frankie?
Mario on it.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. But I want to read you. I got to read you the copy, man. This is some high quality English.
Okay.
Yeah, so the new one, the Soulja game Fuse.
Okay.
F-U-Z-E, or Z-E if you're in America. $640. But
I'm sorry, what?
$640. But if you act now, you can get it on sale for $399.
Okay.
And how will they lure you in, you ask?
You're gonna need more than that.
You know how they lure you in? With abundant games. Play anytime. The introduction of paragraph 76 games starting 20 games shock.
Wow. Okay, now you have my attention.
Right?
Please carry on.
You had my interest, now you have my attention. The controllers are designed like an Xbox, and you can buy extra ones. And the write-up on the controller,
Yeah.
wireless control, get rid of the shackles of the thread, smart design, unite the many crystal technology.
Yes.
Right? Like, if you had to sit down and write English, it could not have been better than that.
I need to unite the crystal.
But
whatever.
but wait, there's more.
Okay.
Matte Black, and I say M-A-T-T Black.
Okay.
Matte Black.
Who's this Matt Black person?
Matte Black it's like Alan Wake's brother. Matte Black tunnel, empty shell, mirror paint, cutting geometry, aircraft grade aluminum lifting frame to create a stable atmosphere without losing the contours.
Ooh,
That's
like
important.
That. I like that it hasn't lost its
You
contours.
can't create a stable atmosphere and lose the contours. That just does
I'll
not
tell you,
work.
if it's one thing I demand in my daily controller,
Cutting geometry?
it's cutting geometry.
And Matte Black.
And Matt Black.
Yes. Good old Matte Black.
Matt
He's-
Black will actually deliver the cutting
Yeah.
geometry to you.
It's Frank Black's brother from Millennium back in the day. Matte Black. He also could not operate a
Oh,
mouse.
Ichigo, you know what would, Rutu, you know what would be amazing for that? If Jeff Keighley invited Soulja Boy to the Game Awards 2019,
an FBI.
and they have him on stage, and Jeff Keighley stands back, it's like, let's all laugh at him, and the audience laughs him, and then FBI carts him off stage. That would be awesome.
Oh man, I tell you. So
don't worry, Ichigo, it's coming soon. That he won't last long with that shit.
no. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I love about it. No indication at all what games you can get for any console.
But there's 5,000 of them.
But they claim to have 200 plus content partners globally, and they show logos for Ubisoft, Codemasters, Arc System Works, 505 Games, Koei Tecmo, Deep Silver Concept, and others.
Yeah.
And I can believe Codemasters, but all the rest, I have trouble.
No, I guarantee what it is that they took those games, reskinned them, and made them a shittier version, and then just crammed them on the disc there, and they were like, that's what you get to play.
The question is, can I play Damnation on the go without losing the contours?
Only with cutting geometry.
That's true. That is true. Wow. All right, so we will refresh that story when Soulja Boy gets arrested.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That
I'm
makes
sure
me
he
happy.
won't because he's not the one actually making the games, but, you know.
He's just a third party.
Yeah.
I'm just running a sales site,
Yeah.
man. That's
I'm sure he's going to lose a lot of money.
China's making all the games.
China. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's not investing in it so much as just he's getting a promotional fee.
Yeah, that it could be that.
Yeah.
That's like his loophole that
Yeah.
he can't legally get caught in it.
It's true. So, yeah, so Soulja Boy has turned his swag on. Ubisoft Club. We all love the Ubisoft Club.
Do you?
I mean, sure, I win a bunch of points for doing random shit, and then I forget about them until the next Assassin's Creed comes
I guess
out, right?
that's about the only thing I can kind of give them credit for is
Yeah.
that they don't really shove it in your face as much as it's just like, yeah, when I play the next Assassin's Creed game,
Yeah.
I usually use the points from the last game to buy a costume in the new game.
Right? You buy a bunch of shit, and then you ignore the stupid stuff,
Yeah.
and you move on.
Yeah.
And then a year later, you buy something else. Yeah. Turns out that those points are now going to be even more worthless starting next year.
Awesome.
Yes.
How worthless are they?
They're so worthless. Starting in April 2019, they're going to start expiring.
Oh, God, really?
After 2 years, your points will expire if you haven't used them.
Is that even necessary? They're
Right?
not making any money off of them.
Like, what was there? What is this an answer to? What problem are they
was there
solving?
a marketplace for this?
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
A huge Uplay Club black market that somehow we missed out on.
Like there's some kind of racketeering going on.
That
with
makes
fucking
no
Uplay
sense.
Points or something.
And Damnation is not my most favorite game. That would be Alpha Protocol. And it's
Damnation
still,
is in fact his second favorite game.
let's just say Damnation is not a good game, but I had a lot of fun watching Dandr0id play it.
Losing my fucking mind.
It was hilarious. Hilarious being not on the receiving end
And
of
Tron has a good point. But if they expire, what will I not spend them on?
it, right? I really got to hurry to not spend them on something before they expire. So starting in April 2019, they're going to start expiring 24 months after you earn them. They
Okay.
will expire. But the good news is that when you buy something, use your oldest points first.
Okay.
So it's your best before date.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. On the last day of each month, they reconcile and like deduct your points. I'm thinking that there are just people out there that've got thousands of points and have spent them on nothing, and they feel that they're not worthless. Not worthful.
I
Worthwhile?
don't even get it. Like I
Worth
don't know
anything.
a single person where that became like an actual like marketplace for them. It was literally like a place where they gathered some points for just literally playing a game.
Right.
That was it. Like,
Well-
they never went out of their way to do
know.
any of that. So
Well, Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah.
There were a couple of other Ubisoft games I played.
Did they do any of
anything
the-
Tom Clancy?
any of the Rabbids ones or anything? Did you get any points from those?
No. They were interesting, but I never platinum them.
Oh no, but
I
I was. Is you play
No,
in that?
no.
Like, do you get
Oh
points?
yeah,
from
like
them or
anything Ubisoft had you. Oh, it was the South Park stuff. There's a bunch of stuff for
Oh,
South
yeah,
Park.
yeah.
So anything I was platinuming
Oh,
anyway.
the Division.
The Division. I never played the Division, but it did have them. Anything on Uplay had these points, and there was always like a 80-20, where it was like 80% of the stuff was kind of useful, and
Yeah.
then the 20% would be like themes and backgrounds,
Yeah,
and,
just
and soundtracks.
Garbage you'd never use.
Right? So eventually I'd buy all the useful stuff and then bank all my points on whatever until the next game came out, and I'd just spend them all immediately.
Yeah.
So you get a sort of at the beginning of the game, a bit of a bump where you have your Uplay equipment that's useless after 2 hours into the game.
Yeah, basically.
Right?
It's just it's a fun little bump at the start of the game.
Or some like crafting supplies or something, or a better horse.
Does it have armor?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Side little bit of a diversion, but I got to give Discount credit. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you can name your horses.
Yeah.
And I named my like crappy one Glue.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, he says to me, I should have named it 3 Food.
Oh yes.
Like such a missed opportunity. I was
Callback.
angry at myself. So angry. That horse was worth 3 food, and he
Yep.
fucking. We could have eaten the horse, or we could have fed the horse for the
Yep.
rest of the game. But no, Discount needed to go place to place in dead of winter without getting bitten. 3 food.
Yep.
I was angry at myself.
You'll know for next time.
I was so angry I didn't think of that. So yeah, points to Discount for the perfect beginning shitty Glue horse name. Anyway, Starbreeze, we know they're having some financial issues.
Yeah.
Apparently, they have a few more issues.
Oh, boy.
So they replaced their CEO. They're going into reconstruction, which is sort of the Swedish version of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So they're trying to weather the storm, reconstruct their
Getting rid of all the unnecessary stuff.
right,
And,
and build back up to being profitable. Turns out, in December 5th, they were actually raided by police.
Really?
Yeah, in a statement to media, Starbreeze said, this morning officials from the Swedish Economic Crime Authority raided the offices of Starbreeze in Stockholm. One person was arrested and items were seized. The raid is part of an ongoing investigation involving suspected insider trading.
Ooh.
So, as well as the arrest, equipment was taken, including computers and documents.
Of course, yeah.
So Starbreeze had said, it was the Walking Dead, the Overkill Walking Dead game, and poor sales of that caused their issues.
Yeah.
Apparently, they also had higher shares of sales to Russian and Chinese partners as part of the problem. Apparently, there was a $10 million payment from 505 Games for the console version of Walking Dead, which I guess was their licensing fee.
Yeah.
They're not going to consider it as revenue during the financial year because they are so fucked financially.
Strapped for cash.
Yeah, it just goes straight against all of their bills. But just the fact they were selling shares to the Russians, to the Chinese at some exorbitant rate, I wonder if that's related to the insider trading somehow.
Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting because you don't really get to hear about a lot of stuff like that. So
no, it's right around the same time that the whole raids on Deutsche Bank and everything else were going on.
Yeah.
It'd be really, really funny if somehow sidelong this Starbreeze thing was tied through Deutsche Bank all the way back to Donald Trump. But who the fuck knows?
That'd be a hell of a route.
Yeah, it would be hilarious and sad for me. So anyway, again, they're shifting their attention to their internal games, less publishing and more developing their internal studios. Like Starbreeze owns Overkill, the guys who did Payday, and Payday 3 is already in production. So hopefully, we're going to see that.
I think that
fold.
They should literally go all in on that because that would be that's their cash cow.
Absolutely. Like Payday makes a lot of money, even if they don't do the shitty microtransactions.
Thanks,
for
discount. Starbreeze is a tremendous developer.
Tremendous developer. All the best developer. I've heard they've had some excellent developers.
They're totally not in hot water with China.
I would never say that. But even if they did nothing wrong. Anyway. So a couple of weeks ago, the Game Awards.
Yes.
Right? Jeff Keighley, fantastic Game Awards.
All 3 hours of it.
Weirdly. Fuck, that was such a long night. I think if Janus Marine, if that thing went on for half an hour extra, we would be dead at his hands.
We would have been fist fighting on the couch, I think.
Just to break up the monotony.
Yeah.
So that week, just before the Game Awards, strangely enough, Steam said, hey, we're going to change our algorithm for giving royalties to developers.
Okay.
As you meet certain thresholds, you're going to have to pay less of your revenue in royalties.
Okay.
So it's like the better you do, the less you pay. Just purely out of the goodness of Steam's heart. And then a couple of days later, Epic said, Fortnite in Epic Launcher.
Yeah.
And a bunch of exclusive content, plus here's some free games.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom, mic drop. And Steam kind of went completely coincidentally. So Origin has been out there for a while. Uplay has been out there for a while. Good Old Games. What's the other one? That Microsoft Store, obviously.
Yeah.
And Steam has not done anything differently.
Well, they really haven't had to. They've been on that throne for so many fucking years now. They have so much content. And they have such a name behind them now that anyone who plays PC gaming, they know what fucking Steam is.
Yep. And right now, that's just the thing. Once you're entrenched in Steam, you have the forums, you have your communicator, you have all of your library. And you don't want to install Origin and have another frigging client in your taskbar.
That's basically it.
Right?
That's what has kept people away from that for so long.
So here are all the reasons that Epic threatens Steam and why Steam is now finally taking this threat seriously.
Yeah.
So, first of all, They are going to offer a free game every 2 weeks for the whole next year, starting now all the way through 2019.
Yeah, and talk about a solid start. They gave away Subnautica, which is an awesome fucking game. So
Which
if
I
you haven't
already
got
own.
that yet, go
Yeah.
get the Epic Store and get Subnautica. It's fucking free.
I already own it on Steam. I played it actually. I reviewed it on PSU.com.
Right.
Had a really good conversation with the guys at Unknown Worlds. So Subnautica is a fantastic game if you like builders, exploring games, survival games, and if you get
And
that
the horrors
free,
of the deep.
oh my god, yeah! If you're not afraid of drowning, Jesus Christ.
Yes, and Ichigo, yes.
Yes.
On the 27th, you get Super Meat Boy, which is a fucking awesome retro platformer.
It has a different name. It is what is it?
Oh, is it like the remastered one or something like
it has
that?
a Super Meat Boy Forever or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that's like the
Something like
remastered
that.
version of it.
Yeah. So anyway, get this. And there's my Subnautica review. Actually, we got some great feedback from they actually shared it with their marketing team. They might use my review in their
awesome.
their actual marketing, which, you know,
Good job.
It's not why I did it. It was a good game.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just the fact that, you know, hey, we're going to put your stuff in an ad, PlayStation Universe, blah, 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 Jack. And it's like,
Yes, please.
I mean, I like the game. I'm not going to review it differently than I would otherwise, but it's always nice when you're appreciated that way. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. Anyway, so on top of that, they have timed exclusives on the brand new game from Supergiant called Hades, which looks very interesting.
Absolutely.
The one that kills me and is weird, they have a timed exclusive on Satisfactory.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Which is the Coffee Stain Studios ones that we've been looking at since E3
Yeah.
that Microsoft now owns. So it's not going to be on the Windows Store. It's going to be on the Epic launcher.
I mean, you're only going to see this more going forward. If we're getting different kind of avenues to get your games, this is almost getting into that territory of Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, like that. We're gonna get our games from different places.
Okay, but
so...
Microsoft is always like, you saw like Quantum Break forever was only available on the Microsoft Store, right? And like, just the fact that a brand new game debuts on a competitor's store, that's really weird.
It probably has to do with the licensing was already in place.
Maybe.
Those deals were probably cut a year ago.
You
and
never
then all
know.
of a sudden Microsoft said, hey, we're buying you, but everything that was, you know, pre-done, like that, that still happens.
Okay, so that one hurts. That one hurts a lot. I mean, it doesn't really, because I'm just going to buy it on the PC. But
yeah, you're going to get it on PC anyways.
Rebel Galaxy Outlaw is a Epic launcher exclusive now.
Okay.
And I mean, these are timed exclusives, so like a year later you can buy them on Steam if you really care that much.
Is it a year?
Something like a year, yeah.
That's actually a pretty impressive timed exclusive. Typically, you're looking at that 3 to 6 month range
But,
for
I mean,
a lot
it
of
doesn't
those.
really matter. You're still playing it on PC. But...
I mean, yeah, that's why I don't. It doesn't bug me as much now. Like back in the day, it was like, no, I want all my stuff on Steam. I want it all in one place. But now, I don't know. I'm willing to kind of look elsewhere, especially if they are going to offer like, if I have to download the Epic thing, like the Epic storefront, and I'm getting like a free game every 2 weeks for the next year.
Why not?
Yeah, I'll download that.
Like, why not? But here's the thing, like, and obviously Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite is obviously exclusive to it. But here's the thing, like, it's not like Steam and Origin where it'll, like, terminate and stay resident. It'll sit in your taskbar and eat up memory. And, like, give you notifications and garbage. Apparently, it's just going to, once you close it, it's closed.
Yeah, exactly.
So that, first of all, that says to me, okay, I can deal with this. The second thing is, for a developer, and this is really key for the indie developer, the revenue split is way better.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so much better on
and this
Epic.
is where Steam kind of came out of the woodwork with
Yeah.
theirs.
So Steam, and this is a weird thing, Steam has a 70-30 split. So the developer gets 70%, Steam gets 30% of your sales. But what they had proposed was, as you sell more, that split would get better for the developer. So the indie developer is not at all incentivized to go on Steam.
No, of course
It's super
not, because
expensive.
they're never going to sell, you know, like what a AAA dev is going to sell.
So guess what the split is on Epic?
Is it like fucking 90-10 or something?
Pretty
like that?
close, 88-12.
Wow, okay.
Like, way different, and it's that across the board. So indie developers, right off the hop, 88-12, they don't have to meet any kind of sales targets to get that. Now, here's the extra bonus.
Yeah.
If your game is actually developed on an Unreal Engine, you don't have to pay royalties on the engine.
Are you fucking kidding?
Right? So it's extra incentive. You use their engine.
If I built a game in Unreal,
yes,
and I put it on their storefront.
Correct.
I don't owe them anything except for buying the engine.
Yeah,
up front
whatever
or
the license is for
Yeah.
the engine itself, but you don't pay like a per impression fee or whatever the fuck the licensing is.
That's fucking
Right?
awesome.
So that's a crazy good. So that
Yeah.
improves the landscape even more for an indie developer. Mm-hmm. So that's huge. So Steam right now, I can understand why Gabe Newell might be like, okay.
Yeah.
What is this feeling I have? Oh yes, competition. I forgot what that feels like. It doesn't have any forums because Epic says fuck off with all that nonsense.
It doesn't need to be clouded up
Right?
with all that stuff.
Users are on Reddit and Discord and Twitter and Facebook groups.
Oh, and Commander Santa, welcome to the chat. And yes, you
Commander
should
Santa.
definitely continue on your game.
Yes, you should. And while we're there, why don't you give a shout out to good old Commander Santa and all his cooking goodness?
Oh yes, Q's Kitchen.
Yes. Oh, it's gonna be Christmas. We've got a thing. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna have to talk to Santa. We need to set up a thing.
Yeah.
We've got a thing.
Oh, I've already talked to him a bit.
Okay.
Like we're gonna do a cooking stream at some point.
Oh,
so,
yes.
yeah, we just need to figure out when and
Oh
how.
yes.
But yeah,
We
that's
have-
gonna happen.
We have some interesting stuff. Yeah. But yeah, Commander Santa, our good old friend. Is it? What day is today?
It's Monday.
I think it's his birthday today.
Happy of course it is.
Happy birthday, Commander Santa.
Everyone say
I
happy birthday in
forgot.
the chat to Commander Santa.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Commander Santa. I don't need it filled. That's good. No, I'm good. No.
Then you should leave it on display.
Discount, no, it's okay. Discount already offered. That was already like 3/4 rum, so. Anyway. So yeah, like that's a really good split for them. They're also going to support mods. They're going to support free-to-play games. And they're going to support what, and interestingly, is called non-commercial games.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's like...
Is that like educational games?
I don't know.
or-
Like free games? Like, I don't know. Like, who knows? But they're non-commercial games. Something that Steam doesn't really offer.
Yeah, that speaks to me as something like, hey, this is a thing that I built, but it's educational or demo-esque, so I'm not charging anything,
Right.
and then they just throw it out there.
So if I was an independent developer or a single-person developer, if I was like Sean Murray at Hello Games, it would make perfect sense for me if I'm making like an Unreal Engine game to put it on the Epic Store, make more money, pay less in revenue,
my
royalties.
gears are already turning. Like
Right?
I'm working on stuff in the background,
Yeah.
so like that is a definite boost right there. I love to hear stuff like that.
And plus, on top of that, if you're any good, that you could get an exclusive contract, that's more revenue on top of that, and free advertising.
Yep.
So I can understand why at this point, I mean, obviously we don't know because it's a big monolith, but I can see why Valve at this point would be taking this seriously.
And I mean, honestly, at this point, this had to happen at some point.
Yes.
No one stays at the top forever. So Steam
It's been a long time.
It has been a long time, but again, you don't stay up there forever because somebody is going to come along with either a better concept, a better business model, just a fresh idea, and they're going to knock him off that throne.
Discount
So we'll see
suggests
what
that
happens.
maybe we'll get Half-Life 3 in response. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case.
somebody will make Life Half 3 in Epic Unreal Engine,
There you go.
and then they'll sell it on there.
Okay, so we were talking about Street Fighter 5 before.
Oh yes. So someone's nickel and diming people or something.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what's going on.
You know, Capcom has had a unique history of like selling DLC that's already on the disc and things like that.
Unique.
Yeah. And we've got these things where
Oh, sorry. Was that
wait.
discount? Oh,
Is a better business model for devs. What do gamers get out of it? I mean, realistically, if the split is better, they can easily make the games cheaper.
yeah. That's actually one of the key factors. Is
Yeah.
that if you're AAA, I mean, you're getting money either way. Like you have that kind of collateral to put into it
You
and
get
stuff.
free games every 2 weeks for a year. How about that?
If you're an indie dev and you're building a game on a shoestring budget, like
Yeah.
you spent $5,000 to make this game and you
Right.
are not going to see any return on it right away, you can go in and instead of have like I have to charge $40
Yeah.
or else I'm not going to make any money for the next 5 years off this game. They can go in and say it's $20 instead.
I mean, even not
and then they make
Yeah.
almost all the profit off of
even
that.
not the indie developers. Think about Deus Ex
Mm-hmm.
on Square. Deus Ex, the original rebooted Tomb Raider, Sleeping Dogs. And they sold like 1.5 million copies in the first 2 weeks, and they're like, oh, we didn't hit sales targets.
Yeah.
Picture that except they're getting an additional 18% revenue.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like that's going to make it more reasonable for Square to make sequels to games we like if they can put it out on the Epic launcher instead of Steam. And then we'll see Deus Ex Mankind Divided 2 or whatever the other half of the game's going to be.
Yeah. So competition is always a better thing for the gamers because it's going to drive costs down.
Yes.
So that's what gamers get out of it. And then apparently over the next year, we're getting free games every 2 weeks, that's a solid fucking deal because everyone else is giving away free games once
are
a
pretty
month.
damn cheap on Steam sales. At that point, developers have already gotten to the point where they've met their targets and shareholders aren't looking at them anymore.
Yeah.
We're talking about 6 months, a year down the road, you get stuff like on sale, pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
In the first month, the first 2 months, if they don't hit certain targets, you're not getting a sequel, you're not getting bonuses, you're not getting any sort of DLC.
And then one of the things that Jack had actually talked about in here too is one of the reasons why I wasn't a big fan of like Origin and some of the other ones is because they were trying to introduce a whole new Steam onto my computer, which was just going to eat up more, fucking RAM and everything like that while I was using it. Epic is like a bare bones system. They're not trying to cram anything else down, any forums, any fucking, a bunch of like crazy friend lists with a bunch of activities on it and everything like that. This is just a wireframe that the games fit in that you can play them through. That's it.
I'm perfectly willing to purchase stuff on Epic if it supports the developers better. If this is going to be what it takes to break the Steam monopoly and cause them to give developers more of the revenue, then so much the better.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
And plus free games.
Yeah.
I mean, free Subnautica, that's a goddamn good deal.
It comes down to competition is always a good thing.
Yes. So Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, as of December 11th, has in-game ads.
Okay, yeah. So I caught wind of this. I didn't read the full thing about it.
Yeah. So it's on the it coincides with the free trials that they had for PS4 and Steam, which was from the 11th to the 18th. That's still on right now. The ads are designed to target new players buying into more content, so it advertises DLC and whatnot. Blah blah blah. So get this: the Street Fighter 5 ads appears on costumes and in the versus screen before a battle. And some of the stage ads will feature a sponsor. So Street Fighter related stuff, costumes, DLC, Capcom Pro Tour.
Yeah.
If you turn off the ads, which is an option, if you don't want to see them in the battle settings, you can turn them off. If you turn them on, if you leave them on, rather, you get extra fight money when you finish the game, when you're fighting casual and ranked games.
Okay, yeah.
So you're getting rewarded for watching their shitty ads.
All right, here. This is my take on this. Okay, from what I've seen of it,
That's sleazy.
okay, ads are ads. Okay, we all know that they're there.
I
They're not
already
going.
bought their fucking game.
They're not fucking going anywhere or whatever.
If it was a free-to-play game, ads up the asshole. That's par for the course.
One of the core differences in this is okay. So that's kind of shitty because it's a paid game. If they said, "Hey, Street Fighter 5 is free to play now," and then or the base model is free, and then you pay for the extra characters,
right?
The
caveat emptor.
The only kind of like bonus on this that I'll give them is that unlike playing a smartphone game where you're locked down to you can have X amount of fights, you have X amount of energy to do this much stuff per day, or it's just like, oh, you died, but do you want to continue from where you are? Or do you watch this 30-second ad and stuff like that?
Yep.
Those ones, they interrupt the gameplay. What they've done with Street Fighter is, Balrog's boxing gloves will have like an ad logo on them, or like the billboard that's flashing the background will have like an ad on it. It's not something that interrupts the game. Now, if they said round 2 after these short messages, I would have an issue with that.
That versus screen where it comes up in the loading screen.
It's
how do we know it's not taking a couple seconds longer just because it's got the ad there?
If it takes more than five or 10 seconds, then it's taking too long.
I'm okay with Alan Wake using only Duracell batteries because it does not impact gameplay one way or the other. And I'm with Ishigo on this. It's like he's taking the Nope train back to fuck this shitville, which is a nice town, let me tell you. So I mean that's not great. I'm hoping it's strictly in the free play, but that's weird.
And Rurutu, that's a prime example. I mean, I'm not a fan of NASCAR games per se, but that's kind of the situation that you're seeing. Is you're seeing billboards, stuff is plastered on the vehicles. that's your advertisement. That's
like the PS4 ads in the Switch and Xbox versions of the FIFA games.
Yeah, which is just fucking hilarious.
Hilarious.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't impact gameplay, and you have the option to turn it on and off.
Yeah, but you're basically penalizing the people who turn it off. It's like your ad buddies in Maniac, right? You can just pay for stuff, or you get
that's
free.
Just exhausting because you have to pay attention to them
right?
and everything. Because honestly, like shit like that, if it'll blend into the background, and if it's a character I don't even care about, and they have like a fucking stupid logo on their chest, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of them anyways.
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
yeah, if it was literally like, hey, round 1, and then it played like a 20-second ad, no, fuck that. That's where I
don't
draw
know.
the fucking
I still
line.
think it's pretty sleazy.
Yeah.
All right, we got some quick hits.
Okay.
Metro Exodus is gold.
Okay. Perfect.
So not only is it gold, it's coming, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be here early.
Okay.
So it was supposed to be released February the 22nd. It's now coming February the 15th.
Oh shit. Okay.
And unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, it's coming out the same day as Far Cry New Dawn and Crackdown 3.
Oh my god.
Which do you think out of the three is going to be the fatality?
Just brawling it out there.
Right? Because I'm going to buy Metro. I'm going to buy Far Cry.
Yep. I mean,
Next item.
You'll get Crackdown in 3 months when it's half price.
I mean, they had their time. It's been 5 goddamn years.
No, that's what I mean though, is that you'll give them, because you'll be playing these other games. You'll give them the 3 months when they realize that they shit the bed, and they're like, "Here, have the game for half price," and then you'll pick it up and you're like, "Yeah, that was worth $30."
I don't know that it was. Like, Quantum Break is one thing. Quantum Break was a great game. Not many people played it because it was an Xbox One X exclusive.
Yeah.
Eventually came to PC. Then a lot more people played it. You know, Remedy makes good games. That's beginning and end of that. Crackdown 3, however, what's the word? Looks awful.
Well, you just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's not always about how good the graphics are. It could actually be a genuinely fun game.
Well,
or it could be whatever that fucking game is from Saints Row, guys.
Agents of Mayhem.
Oh yeah, Agents of Mayhem, where it didn't look good and it was a shit game. Apparently.
Let me just say that it really looks like I'm going to have a new appreciation for Crackdown 2 after this. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think they're going to win this tussle.
Yeah.
Because New Dawn looks amazing, and of course Metro is always amazing. So, anyway, Walking Dead, the final season, is back on Steam and other platforms. The 3rd episode will launch on January the 15th, 2019. It's being done by Skybound.
Yeah.
Skybound Entertainment. They're heading up development. Telltale Games branding has been removed from all of the marketing for it.
Oh yeah.
So they are out. Yes, what's this now?
It's a tree.
Oh, yes.
Tiny little Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I wanted a string of lights, but I didn't have any at home extra. They're all on my tree right now.
Fuck Christmas, bah humbug. So anyway, so I don't know when episode 4 is. Probably by March, I would say, every couple of months. But
yeah.
Theoretically, it was mostly done. Now that Skybound's taking over, maybe they have a deeper staff. I don't know what their bench is like.
It could be just trying to kind of finish it up.
Yeah,
and
maybe. But they got to hurry because March 1st, Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove comes out.
Yes.
For PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
I am like,
right?
Just so fucking excited for this one.
It looks good. It looks really good.
That was like one of those ones where I was so jealous when my buddy had a Genesis and I didn't, because he had fucking Toe Jam and Earl.
Toe Jam and Earl was a unique
Every time we
kind of
went
thing.
there, I was just I had to play it. It was so much fucking fun.
Here's a fun fact. Something I did not know. The designer of Toe Jam and Earl, Greg Johnson, was also the main designer on the original Starflight game.
Oh, really?
How bizarre is that? I love Starflight.
They're such different concepts, though. Like,
so it's kind of neat that both of these games that I love, actually by the same designer, completely different games. So that's neat. So March 1st, 2019, PC, Switch, PS4, Xbox One. Here's a weird one. I know you're not a huge trophy hunter, but occasionally with multiplayer, you like get a couple friends together, you trade a couple of wins. You do what's called, what the cool kids are calling, boosting. So South Korea has made it illegal to boost.
I know exactly why.
Why?
Because they're getting paid to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's entirely possible. But not only have they made it illegal to do it, it ridiculously carries a 20 million won fine, which is roughly $18,000 US.
I was going to say, what does that equate to?
But
a
$18,000 US fine and potentially up to 2 years in jail.
Whew, that's
Right.
that's a bit steep for just playing a fucking game.
Right? For, just because somebody mains Hanzo and
Yeah.
some random guys are coming out.
That's crazy.
That's weird. That's weird, right?
Yeah, that seems a bit steep. Like,
South Korea doesn't fuck around on these things,
no,
apparently.
apparently not.
Who would make a law about that? We're mortgaging the internet here in North America.
Not even so much that. It's just like, I want to know how they actually would track that type of situation.
I imagine it's people from the same IP logging into multiple accounts, or I don't even know.
Yeah.
But,
No, but that, honestly, off the top of my head, that's the only reason I can think of is because
Yeah.
people actually charge real world money to do
Maybe.
that because it's easy for them to make cash off of
I
that.
wouldn't think it would be South Korea would be the main provider for that. I would think it would be like a
Koreans,
cheaper.
South Korea's big gamers, so
Well, maybe, yeah, big gamers, but
Yeah.
I would think it would be a cheaper environment, like maybe India or maybe China.
I think they're all part of it. I just
cheaper
think
labor.
South Korea actually has stepped up to actually
Maybe.
do it.
I don't know. South Korea, I think, is just more serious about their esports.
No, maybe that's it too.
Speaking of serious about esports,
Yeah.
China banned Fortnite
Yeah, I know.
and PUBG.
I found that one insane. Like that.
Everyone's happy.
Ju-
Hey, we're
just-
going to break into the environment.
Well, just after what was it last year?
Yeah.
the government like allowed video game consoles basically.
Apparently, they said, nope, maybe not.
And now they're like, nope, no Fortnite, no PUBG. Because again, I think it's that. Because obviously, we all know China has a huge like lockdown
Yeah.
on internet, social media, all that kind of stuff.
lot of censorship.
And having Fortnite and PUBG is just a wide open screen door to all that.
Well, Fortnite, PUBG, as well as H1Z1 and Paladins were banned for
Yeah.
blood and gore, or vulgar content.
yeah.
Also recommended for corrective action, League of Legends, Blade and Soul, Overwatch, Diablo, and World of Warcraft. So any sort of suggestive clothing that females wore, which
Yeah.
is basically all of these.
They're pretty fucking strict on a lot of that stuff, which is
Yeah.
really unfortunate. Because again, that's
Poor people in China have never
freedom
seen.
of choice, people.
Yeah.
Come on.
They don't have that in China.
yeah.
Not so much. That's how they have a president for life. Anyway, fun fact. EA, on their website, they have acknowledged that the launch of Star Wars Battlefront 2, quote, did not go as planned. I think that may win as
They sp-
understatement of the fucking
They
year.
spent 6 months writing that line. Did not go as expected.
Apparently, this was not how they envisioned it going. Because, I mean, it went so flawlessly, I can't imagine how this isn't what they intended.
Wow. Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, says Ishigo. I
Yeah.
mean, no fucking shit.
James Marine, shouldn't that say Donald Trump next to that?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the one that was just like
Xi Jinping, yeah.
This guy's onto something. I like
Xi
this.
Jinping, the guy from the Philippines who killed all the drug dealers, of course, Vladimir Putin,
Yeah.
and Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Who is the guy from the Philippines?
He's a glorious leader.
Duarte? Yeah, Duarte.
Oh.
Right.
No,
Right.
apparently that's a real quote from Justin Trudeau.
Is it actually?
Wow. Okay.
Yikes.
Liking him less by the day.
Well, it's kind of that you take a shitty idea and you put it next to a really shitty idea to make the shitty idea look better. Same kind of thing. So, speaking of shitty ideas, Red Dead Online's microtransactions have
yes,
launched,
here we go.
offering players a fantastic one-time offer to buy 25 gold bars for a measly 5 real-world dollars.
Right.
You can only do it once, so new takers only.
Literally the same thing that Hearthstone did too.
Right.
They're
so,
like, here, have this starter bundle with all
Right.
these packs and everything. It's a special one-time only price.
Yeah, 25 gold bars would typically cost $10. But,
So your first round is half price.
right. But just about every piece of equipment is like 100 bars.
Yeah, that's kind of there's a definite discrepancy there. It was kind of like when Fallout 76 gave everyone 500
Yeah,
atoms for the
free
fuck
atoms.
up, even though like most clothing pieces and armor
Right.
and stuff cost like 1,000 to 1,200 and
And meanwhile, it was like $5 worth of shit.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think, but they're still balancing their economy a little. So,
a little.
yeah, it was a little, yeah,
Maybe they're seeing how much they
Doesn't matter.
can shove down the throat of players after GTA.
I do not dispute. Anyway, they're experimenting with this whole like multiple, like a premium currency and regular currency. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Rime, Firewatch, and Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition will no longer be getting an Xbox One X enhancement.
Okay.
They have all collectively and independently and separate from one another decided not to do an Xbox One X enhancement.
Tier. I honestly,
Right.
I could see Bulletstorm getting a good enhancement for that. The other two, not so much.
But here's the thing.
They're very straightforward
Yeah.
and they're like colorful polygon, like cell shaded looks. You're not really going to get much of an enhancement there.
I think Microsoft has cut the subsidies for it and just said, why aren't you making Xbox 2 stuff? What is still this Xbox One X? We've got their money.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys. I mean, at this point, they are 2 years out from the next system. They need to have their developers working towards stuff that will sell.
Obviously,
Yes. Because they've lost. I think they've just reached, according to VG charts, they've just reached 40 million. Which, I mean, I don't trust VG charts worth shit, but they're getting shellacked. Anyway, speaking of sales, Detroit Become Human, they've announced that they have sold through as well, more than 2 million copies of Detroit Become Human.
Nice.
Which is good
on 'em.
for a niche, first-party, like, exclusive game.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's the
Because
best
that's not the type of one that's up in those like that tier of like God of War and Spider-Man
Right.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they've only been on sale since May 25th, so half the year. They sold 2 million copies. I'm pretty sure that's the best that that Quantic Dream has done in that time period.
And I guess are they celebrating because it's on sale right now?
Yes,
too.
I don't
so-
know if that's related, but they announced it. So hey, go
Yeah.
buy our game because if you haven't, you know,
Check it out now.
It was definitely one of the nominees for best narrative and whatnot.
Oh, obviously,
so,
yeah.
Nier Automata, speaking of which, it has reached 3.5 million worldwide in digital and physical sales. Granted, that is across 3 platforms instead of 1, but still, Nier Automata. If Detroit Become Human is niche.
Yeah.
Nier is like a subset of a subset of that niche.
Yeah, kind of.
Yes, but a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite of 2017.
Yep. And finally, in the obvious statements of the year department, Reggie Fils-Aimé says he'd love for Red Dead Redemption 2 to be on Switch.
Are you gonna hook 3 of them together to run it?
I mean, maybe he wants a pony too. Like,
good fucking luck, Reggie. No, it would never.
he wants Red Dead Redemption. People in hell want ice water, right? Is it just me? Like, it's kind of weird. I was we were at a family dinner over the weekend, and I saw that my dinner with Hervé, the one with like what's his face, Peter Dinklage playing Hervé Vilches.
Oh yes, yeah.
Is it just me? I think of Reggie Fils-Aimé as reverse Hervé Vilches.
Yeah, I can see
Right?
that.
Because he's kind of a big lumbering
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
but he's got sort of that same jaw and weirdness. Mm-hmm. He's an unusually large man. All right. Now, with 14 minutes left and no options menu this week, because
Well, this is our options
this
menu.
is kind of it. We got the big ticket. We're going to talk about Games of the Year. Now, the boys out at PSU, we voted, and some of the votes, let's just say, did not come out the way we would like.
Well, was it just internal voting or was it?
It was well, there was some public voting, but there was also internal voting.
Okay.
They had picks from both, but they're going to be posting those out shortly. But we're going to go through the list.
Okay.
And some of these are just completely fucking wrong. I'm just to say flat out.
Wait, why does it say Fortnite 30 times on this
right?
list?
No. Game of the year. So we're gonna argue about game of the year a little bit. So first of all, here are the categories were chosen actually based on our original template. They fleshed out a bit.
Okay.
So let's go through the list. Best remaster for the year. The nominees that came out, the top 4, were Shadow of the Colossus, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Yakuza Kiwami 2, and Dark Souls Remastered.
Okay.
So out of the 4, did you have a favorite out of the bunch? Or did you have another one entirely that you would have picked?
I mean, honestly, from that list, just because it is one of my most favorite games of all time, I would say Shadow of the Colossus, because they did a fucking spectacular job on it.
Blue Point outdid themselves this time.
They nail it every fucking time.
I really wish that Sony would just drop some cash and buy them.
The other side of that, though, is I have to admit, the Spyro Reignited trilogy is spectacular.
They did a really good job on that, too.
They did so much work on that. Yeah.
But...
What did you have a pick, or do you just want
there's a Yakuza on this list.
Of course, there's Yakuza on there.
And I mean, Yakuza Kiwami is such an amazing remaster from the original. It's like night and day.
Yeah.
Just Majima Anywhere alone is such a like it reinvigorates your excitement for the game. So Shadow of the Colossus 1, I can respect that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would necessarily agree with that, because I think Yakuza probably would have been my thing, but Shadow of the Colossus was really good.
Yeah.
And I mean, we did a Let's Play of that a bunch of times. So, most anticipated for 2019.
Okay, this will be an interesting
And
one.
I think it will be the obvious one for both of us. And this is obviously before The Outer Worlds was announced.
Right, yes.
Because that shot up very high on my list
that
afterwards.
really came out of left field, and it's a big contender now.
Yeah, well, New Vegas was always my favorite Fallout, and Obsidian did that, and now having those guys working on Fallout in name only, basically.
Yeah,
in
well,
all
I
but
mean,
name
it's literally
only.
when I saw the trailer, I was like, wow, this looks like good Fallout.
Cough. Sorry, 76. Yeah, they really have a good placement of it too, because until Starfield comes out, it's gonna be like Buck Rogers versus Mass Effect. I'm thinking it's going to be sort of a different style. But anyway, most anticipated for 2019, The Last of Us Part 2, Cyberpunk 2077, the Resident Evil 2 remake, which looks amazing,
right,
and Dreams, which I don't know even what that is still.
I don't think me and Molecule knows what it is yet.
It's going to come out in 2 years, and Dreams is just going to be Death Stranding. It's just going to be the longest Kojima long con ever. Just peel the mask off, and Siobhan will just be Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, and he'll be like, Dream Stranding.
Right?
Drop mic, walk off stage.
It's like, oh, I never saw it coming. And then there'd be one guy like, it was part of my Reddit thread. I had conspiracy 10 years ago. Anyway.
But of course, most anticipated, Cyberpunk 2077, of course. This is one of my most anticipated of all time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Dreams is basically Little Big Planet on steroids with a dose of machinima and stuff.
Because it's a game-making tool at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Death Stranding is going to be a Netflix game. Boo Naruto. No, it isn't. Boo on you, sir. Boo to you. So, Cyberpunk is yours? Cyberpunk was mine, too.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Like,
The Last of Us won.
Really?
I mean, it's still good. I'm still anticipating
that has a solid fan base and everything. It's just, I don't know, I feel like Cyberpunk 2077 is just going to reach more people.
Right.
Like,
Well,
there's just going to be more people jazzed about that one.
I think the thing that gets me is that I don't know if they have yet fucked up the plot on The Last of Us yet. Because they're going back to a very beloved set of characters.
Yes,
and I
that's
don't
true.
know if they're going to do it right yet. Whereas Cyberpunk 2077 is like an unknown quantity, but I've seen enough of it that it really rustles my jimmies.
Well, there you go. Ichigo votes for The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
So.
And Kingdom Hearts 2 was in contention. It just didn't
Kingdom
make the top
Hearts
4. Yeah.
And honestly, I think they didn't put it on there because it would have been a guaranteed win at that point. They wanted to make it interesting.
No, people voted on it. That did not make the top 4.
Now, okay, so when people vote on this, we have to remind our fans out there, too, that this is from PSU.
This is the PSU staff and us.
It's a European site.
Not entirely. It's there's U.S. guys, there's European guys, there's one guy in Japan.
Their core team is European, though, so...
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Tastes change around the planet.
The Last of Us. It's PlayStation. It's the first party, I guess, loyalty. I don't know. The Last of Us is going to be awesome, hopefully.
Yeah.
Just don't fuck it up. Anyway. Best Action Adventure. The nominees were God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Marvel's Spider-Man.
I mean, that's pretty much what you expected it to be.
Like, that is a strong fucking category. I still have difficulty picking my top out of that list, because all 4 of those were really good this year.
It's a toss-up for me just between God of War and Marvel's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Just because...
You didn't play Red Dead.
Well, I haven't played Red Dead yet,
Yes.
but one of the things that those games have on top of Red Dead is that if you said, what do you like? Do you like, Greek war, like Norse war god stuff? Do you like superhero stuff, or do you like Westerns? I mean, sorry, Western is going to take third place
I'll
in that
come
list.
right across this fucking table.
Because I like superheroes and I like Norse mythology better than Westerns.
Yeah, but there's so many superhero games and there's so many.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is I'm not saying it's not just the
Yeah.
genre; it's the game that's attached to it too.
And,
Yes,
and
Discount.
Red Dead is really
Sorry,
good.
what was that?
And there's no Red Dead Online with microtransactions.
And there's no shitty online attachment
Discount
to
doesn't
it, so.
like fucking Westerns, so he doesn't count.
No, but that's
Yeah.
the other part too. Is again they had an online thing that I don't really care about
Yeah.
too. Whereas God of War and Spider-Man were dedicated to a
Okay.
single player experience.
Here's the thing: there are 4 action-adventure titles on this list. All 4 of them I would recommend as must-plays.
And obviously,
So
yes,
there's no
I'm not,
losers.
and that's the thing is, I'm not saying
Right.
that the other ones are
Yeah.
shit games. I'm just saying that those are my vote. Like,
so you would have voted for which one if you had to pick?
honestly, God of War. I feel like a little bit more went into that.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man was just such a solid fucking game, and it was so much fun to play.
So here's the thing for me: like I go back and forth on God of War and Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Because like the storyline, like God of War was a masterpiece, and Red Dead Redemption was a better version of the original game. So it didn't reinvent itself, but it did it really goddamn well.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like
So they both have
Yeah.
their pros and cons.
I think the story was better in Red Dead 2, but I think the gameplay in God of War was a little bit better, and it's like it's such a toss-up.
Yeah.
So I mean, God of War won, and I can respect that.
Yeah, and it should go. Honestly, I'm with that all the way. Fuck whoever said single player's
Right?
dead, because
Yeah.
holy shit.
Well,
we have come out in droves in this
Yeah.
past year and have told PlayStation, especially, that we want single player games.
Yeah, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Marvel Spider-Man, like any other year, if it had come out last
Because I mean,
year,
honestly, even Assassin's Creed, I haven't
Right.
played that one yet. but
Odyssey was great.
I've heard nothing bad
Yeah.
about it, and you said that it's basically the best Assassin's Creed game you've ever played.
It's right up there. It's like that, or maybe Rogue.
Yeah.
Like it's as good, if not better, than 2, which is like the high watermark.
Yeah, exactly.
For a lot of people. So best RPG, and this one gives me heartburn. So the list is Ni no Kuni 2,
Yep.
Dragon Quest 11, Divinity: Original Sin, or Monster Hunter World.
Okay. I mean, I honestly haven't
don't
played.
play-
I haven't
yeah.
played any of those yet.
Yeah.
I really would like to play them, but just going out on like some of the stuff that I really enjoy and whatnot, and what is a proper RPG in my
Yeah.
mind, I would say was Dragon Quest. But by how fuming you are, I don't think that's the one that won.
Ichigo, if you liked Origins, you'll like Odyssey better. That's my, believe me.
Yeah, and
very
that's,
good game.
Again, coming from Jack, because he really liked Origins. He said Odyssey was just amazing. Like
Odyssey
it's-
wasn't even on my fucking radar.
It
until
wasn't on mine either. I felt like it was one of those kind of tack on. Oh,
Right.
let's just whip out another Assassin's Creed. So
like Revelations.
yeah, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of threw it out the door. But
Yeah, there was-
apparently, it's one of the best ones in the series.
No, the little refinements they made to the game, it really made a big difference.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay, so
All
with
right.
best RPG,
Which one do you think won?
I'm gonna say Monster Hunter just because it won.
did.
Yeah, because it won
did.
at the Game Awards also.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have. That is not an RPG. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
That is not an RPG.
It's an action adventure
Yes.
with RPG elements. That's the most I'll give it for an RPG.
I would have 100% given that to Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have even have hesitated. Anyway, best fighting game. So the list was Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Soul Calibur 6, and Dragon Ball FighterZ or Fighter Z.
I'm gonna say it was Fighter Z because holy shit, it's a good game.
It was, and I was a kind of a toss up between that and Soul Calibur, but that was an amazing game.
I have a soft spot for Soul
Yep.
Calibur, but I know it's not the best fighting
Yeah.
game.
Plus, if you go out to the archives, you could see me kick the shit out of Albel in it, which I thought was amazing. He owned the game. It was like it wasn't even a contest. It was horrible. Poor bastard. Best,
Yes, discount. Yep, Soul Calibur 3 will always have that place in my heart.
shoveler. Anyway, best indie game: Owlboy, Hollow Knight, Dead Cells, or Celeste. Rough fucking choice.
Really was.
know?
Again, I would vote for Dead Cells, but that's
Yeah.
because that's my style game. But
And
I'm
that's
gonna
what
say
I voted for,
I'm gonna
too.
say Celeste took it just because that was like the darling this year.
Hollow Knight, actually.
Hollow Knight, really?
Knight. It
Okay,
was-
well that's
it's good. It's a
That's
good game.
That's a good one too
Yeah.
because it's an excellent game. Well deserving of it. It's yeah. I'm
Like,
glad that they won.
All four of those were great. Owlboy, like great game. Dead Cells, I think Dead Cells should have taken it because like Metroidvania, I have a
That
real
really
soft spot
was
for.
like Dead Cells was like
And
the
it
big,
was everywhere.
the big one this
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
And let's see. I'm going to skip that one because that's the game of the year for some reason in the center of the list. Best VR game. Astrobot Rescue Mission, Tetris Effect, Wipeout, Omega Collection, and Moss.
Okay.
What do you think?
What do I think won, or what would I like to win?
Have you played, you played Wipeout Omega, did you?
I played White Omega, just not in VR, because I would be puking everywhere.
Oh my god, it is. Oh, you would be.
I really,
You
you know what? Because I have your VR headset right now,
Yes.
I really should give it a whirl, at least for 5 minutes.
Sure, just make sure you have like the bin nearby to puke in.
I would really like to play Tetris Effect at some point.
Tetris Effect is really
I
good.
played the demo of Astrobot Rescue, and it was fun.
A lot
Like,
of
I
people say
actually
that.
had a blast with it. And I still want to play Moss, because it just looks adorable.
Moss, actually, they just released a demo for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay,
so you
well, I'll
can-
have to download that. And I'll
I
give
think
it a
just
try.
this week, so you can download that and
Yeah.
try it out for free. Let's just see. Can't wait for Cuphead 2. Yeah, well,
Yeah, well, keep waiting.
Yeah.
And a remaster Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
That-
I would be down for that.
They
I
will-
fucking love that game.
They will never remaster it. They'll just repackage it because Konami just
I mean,
likes
honestly,
money.
does it really need a remaster? It's
Not really.
It's a gorgeous pixel art game. I think it is what it is.
Maybe if they sell Castlevania to THQ Nordic.
Hey, man, I'll take that.
All right, so I personally voted for Moss.
Yeah.
Tetris Effect was another solid choice. Wipeout Omega, like, you can't go wrong with that. The winner was Astrobot Rescue Mission, which came
which-
out of nowhere. A lot of people loved that.
Apparently, a lot of people
Yep.
loved it. Like, just beyond the Game Awards. Like, I saw it on other lists, and
yeah.
it was winning. So they clearly did a good job
Yeah,
of it.
check out the PSU review for it. They raved about that game. Like, I'm not sure. I think.
I mean, honestly-
I think Laddie had reviewed that. But yeah, check it out.
Honestly, the
PSU.
demo had me hooked. Like, I
Yep.
played the couple levels they give you, and
no,
I
it
was
was
just
Eric.
like, oh no, I fucking need more of this.
Yeah.
Like,
I think actually Eric reviewed that one. Okay, best multiplayer:
yep.
Black Ops 4, Red Dead Online,
Okay.
Fortnite, Overwatch.
Fork knife?
No.
No.
Shockingly enough, it did not win.
Really?
I don't think actually, I think because it was like out for a year, a lot of people didn't vote for it.
Oh, okay.
But it was actually Black Ops 4, COD Ops 4.
I mean, that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
a military shooter.
It's true. I think that Monster Hunter World.
Yes, and
should have been on
Red
that
Dead
category.
is still in beta, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't even really be on the list.
Yeah, it was just because it sort of came out before the vote was done.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people voted for that because at that point,
Mm-hmm.
not many people had played it. But I think, honestly, Monster Hunter World should have been in the multiplayer category, not the RPG.
Absolutely. That's like the whole bread and butter of that
Yep.
game.
All right, best narrative. Detroit Become Human, like I said.
Yep.
Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War.
All fucking solid, but
Right?
I would think just with the sheer amount of work that went into Detroit because
Yeah.
of the multi-branching
It had a
paths
huge,
and endings
huge
and
plot, yeah.
all that, I would give it to that one. But obviously it didn't
Yep.
win, so
It did not.
it did not.
It did not. I mean, it was a good game. I don't think it was an award-winning plot, but it was probably one of the best ones that Quantic Dream has done.
Yeah.
That said, that list also includes Fahrenheit
Mm-hmm.
or Indigo Prophecy. So, but Detroit Become Human was a really good game.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was amazing. Like, the writing on that was so spot on.
I absolutely adored
Yeah.
JJ's podcast.
Right.
That was one of the highlights
my
of the game
God.
for me, honestly.
All these low information people, Spider-Man fans, saying he's a hero. Oh, it was like so Alex
Well,
Jones and
it's
Donald
so-
Trump.
Yeah, it was a good mix of them. It was that kind of paranoia type podcast.
Beautiful.
But it was so on point, and it was reactive to what you did in the game.
Yeah.
So it was perfect.
Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that that didn't win is surprising, but I mean, in the year where God of War and Red Dead comes out, like,
It's stiff competition.
if Red Dead had not come out this year, God of War would have won fucking everything.
It would have wiped the floor with everything, basically. Yeah.
And same thing, like next year, Red Dead would have wiped out everything, not having to face God of War. So I think God of War and Red Dead kind of split a lot of these categories.
Yeah, and Commander Santa, honestly, when his podcast came on, I didn't so much stop, but I kept swinging around the same four buildings.
You didn't
want to
interrupt it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact you can go back and listen to them again. But yeah,
it's great.
that and Spider Cop was my favorite part of the game. Spider Cop. All right. So God of War actually won for that.
Oh, awesome.
Yep, and I can respect that.
Because again, they did a great job. Because this is one of those things we talked about where they took something that existed, but they really kind of reinvented what it was.
Well,
and
I think the narrative there was more like narrative narrative is more than just the written word, the script itself. It's like all about the cinematography, like the one shot throughout the entire game, how subtle the facial expressions were from like Chris Judge and the kid whose name escapes me.
What Artreus or
Yeah, no, whatever the actor's name was.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. The point being that God of War, I think, did not have as strong a narrative as Red Dead, but it's like
Again,
apples-
it's
so close.
yeah.
So I love God of War. I can absolutely respect that choice. Maybe I go back and forth, like I said. That's what she said. Best graphics for the year.
Okay.
And again, it's like the same ones keep coming up again. Assassin's Creed,
course.
Spider-Man, Red Dead, God of War.
I mean, you got to admit they are some of the best looking games of the year.
Like Assassin's Creed looks great. Spider-Man looks amazing. Red Dead and God of War are like ridiculous.
And see, this is one of those ones that'll toss it for me between Red Dead and God of War, because whereas I love the mythology and they did a great job designing that world, but it's also amazing to capture something that is real and actually make it look and feel real while you're in that world too.
like a non-repeating environment that doesn't feel like cookie cutters and
And just the whole thing of you walk through a swamp and you have like muddy footprints, and then there's the whole thing of like
the snow and everything,
like the snow deformation and the breath
shrinking
off of everything,
horse testicles.
Of course, the shrinking horse testicles. Gotta have a note for that.
I would have given graphics. I would have given to God of War, and that's what won. But
I think it's just because it did some bigger.
It's an open world game,
like
right?
bigger, more grandiose things with it.
Like it's an open world game. It can't have as graphically intensive graphics and textures and everything as God of War does, because it only has like 2 or 3 guys on the screen.
Yeah.
A narrow environment. You don't have like a huge open world environment to deal with. I don't know. But still, Red Dead still looked great.
Yeah.
I think graphics would go to God of War, so I agree with that one. This is the one that fucking killed me at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Best sound design. The list is Spider-Man, Far Cry 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, and God of War. Spider-Man, again, special note to Spider-Man with like 2 separate sets of dialogue for when Spider-Man is at rest or exerting himself. Every single line in the game recorded both ways so that whatever you're doing, it feels like you're actually responding.
Yep.
That's amazing. That's
Just
an
a
attention
lot
to
of
detail.
quality voice acting and a lot of
Yes.
believable stuff going on.
Yeah,
And
there was no every voice in the game seemed to fit them perfectly, and whoever they got to be Peter Parker was perfect.
Apparently, it is the voice actor
Yep.
who does Sasuke in Naruto.
Really?
Yeah, and that's the thing is a lot of people when they heard that's who was going to do the voice acting, they were worried that Peter Parker was going to sound like an anime fanboy, basically.
But
they were blown away when they actually heard him pull off like a perfect Peter Parker.
Spider Cop. Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. But yeah, anyway, I again for sound design, I got to go back to the theme song, right? As much as the music was great in Red Dead Redemption, God of War, like the main theme, Bear McCreary, all the recurring themes, it was like fugue and
Well, because
reprise
we're
and-
talking sound design in general
Yeah.
too. So you're talking about beasts that don't even exist. You're talking about like beautiful like weapons and attacks and just the fury of him like fighting. Of course, the banter between him and Boy
and Mimir, like on the head on the thing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
how many times? Like the same thing with
And,
the JJ podcast.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You didn't want to land in case you interrupted the story, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because you were on this boat and you were listening to this amazing story, and you were just so enthralled by it.
Stop a few feet offshore and listen.
Yeah.
Didn't we have somewhere to be? Shut up, head. Tell me a story. Boy. All right, so that one, God of War won for that. That I can 100% get behind. Best platformer. The list was Celeste, Moss, Spyro, and Astrobot Rescue Mission.
Okay. I'm going to say Astrobot probably took it just because it was a favorite.
It was a favorite.
But I'm going to say Spyro.
Spyro won.
Yeah? Okay.
Spyro won that one. Like, all things considered, Spyro was a solid platformer back in the day.
Yeah.
And the remaster
And it
looks
got
amazing.
better.
Right, you know? Like, it's like if Ratchet was in that category. It's like everything else, fuck off. All right. So, Game of the Year.
Here we are.
Game of the Year. I mean, what do you want to guess is the on the 4? It's like almost the same 4
Is
for
it
a lot
literally
of
the
these
same
categories.
4?
It is Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Red Dead, and God of War.
All right.
Right? These are the 4 that are going to sweep 80% of these categories.
Yeah.
So, Game of the Year. What do you go with?
Well, again, I was elated when it happened at the Game of the Year or the Game Awards,
Right?
Because I was worried it was just going to go to Red Dead because that one was basically taking all these awards. I like God of War. It's a good fucking game. It is one of my most memorable ones of the year, outside of Iconoclasts, but, you know, that's just me. So.
Hey, you and everyone else, because they can get it like the PS Plus. They gave it away.
Yes, if you have PS Plus, fucking get it. It's so good.
At the very least, put it in your download list, and when you're bored one day,
okay,
just
again,
play it.
The way I sell it is that, like, okay, if you're looking at Iconoclasts already, you like pixel art games. If you like Metroidvania and Mega Man, it is the perfect mix of those with an amazingly deep, dark story. It is so fucking good.
Don't make me jingle my keys at you, discount. All right, game of the year.
Yeah.
Are you going to go with God of War?
Yes, I'm going with God of War.
Okay. So again, it's like, it's so fucking close. Like, up until November, 100%, I would have said game of the year would hands down go to God of War. And then Red Dead comes out, and it's like,
maybe.
So it's like, oh, the story is so good. The way it unfolds is so good. But God of War, like,
and again, that's just, they're both that solid game.
There is no loser there.
But that's the thing is, the one God of War just gets lifted up that much more because I love things that are outside of the norm. And the Western, as fantastical as they tried to make it like an action movie, it's still normal.
There have been 4 Western games that I could say are any good, and 2 of them are Call of Juarez.
So you want to give it to them just because there's a lack of Western
I'm not
games?
saying, it's like you're saying like something out of the norm. The Western game is absolutely out of the norm. There's Call of Juarez.
I'm talking about normal life.
Well, that's out of normal life. When you think about it, like...
No, it's a Western. It takes place in real life.
Are we on fire? What the hell is happening? Or am I having a seizure? I smell burnt toast.
Cooking upstairs.
I don't know, maybe. Someone's in the kitchen burning some toast.
Anyways, Red Dead takes place in reality.
So?
It's pistols, it's horses. It was an era of real time that happened.
Sure.
I like mythology. I like big fantastical monsters and creatures and demons and stuff like that. So
I mean, yeah, but if it comes down to it...
Because when you're going into that...
Yeah.
You can look at history books and you can design all your shit off of that. When you go into that, all that mythology and stuff like that, there's creativity in that. You get to extend past reality.
You can't just say that that's creative and this isn't. Like, Red Dead is absolutely creative. It's just because it has a source that you have to be true to doesn't make it less creative than God of War. I mean, I can't, like, pigeonhole it like that. I mean,
I already gave you my answers. So.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. God of War is out RDR and pacing. Well, it's like the 3 hours of the good, the bad, and the ugly. For a modern audience, some people call that slow, but like the pacing it absolutely builds to such tension in the showdown. You need that time, and that's just what it is with Red Dead Redemption. You have to see your group fall apart. You have to feel that. You start off as a group, as a family, and just slowly but surely that starts to fray and come apart at the seams. And then as people start getting picked off, suddenly certain support mechanisms aren't there anymore, and arguments flare up, and people decide to leave, and it all comes the fuck apart. And it's this whole background to a game. It's like the bookend to Red Dead Redemption. So, again, you haven't played it, so I can't say, but like you say, Red Dead is...
And I mean, again, it's clearly it's an excellent game. That's the
They're both
thing.
really good.
Again, I'm not shitting on Red Dead.
Yeah.
It's literally I just have to pick one, so I picked mine.
I mean, I go back and forth. Like, I think Red Dead, maybe just because I love the first one so much, but God of War is still like such an amazing reinvention of the genre. God of War did win.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% fine with that. I think I may have voted... I voted more for Red Dead at the time, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. That'd be a tough... If you put a gun to my head, I'd be hard-pressed to make a decision on that one. But anyway, Red Dead, God of War, both amazing games. I'm glad that... like, it's crazy that we have this much... choice.
Well, I mean,
in
that's the whole thing.
games.
What it comes down to, doesn't matter who won.
Right.
The gamers won this year.
Yeah.
2018 was an amazing year for games. I mean, 2017 was an amazing year for games too.
It goes like 2016, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Is like,
and then you look to next year.
fucking enough. Jesus Christ.
No, keep it coming. I love variety. I love choice. I love that we have these amazing indies. We have these amazing AAAs. Crazy. We have like the amazing like everything in between. We have so much choice and
Captain Quinn
so much
says
stuff
that
to play.
Spider-Man got cocked. I mean, it's like any other year, right? This is the worst year.
Exactly, yeah. Like, if Spider-Man was out in, like, 2016, it probably would just, like, blown everything away.
What was the 26... Oh, that was Uncharted 4.
Yeah, because that was like the big one that year. But, like, last year, we had Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon would have blown it out of the water.
And,
I don't know.
And Nier Automata, and,
Uncharted 4, if Spider-Man came out, looked like it did today, in the year of Uncharted 4...
it would have really made waves. If it looked like it did today,
that'd be tough. I think you would have gone with Spider-Man. I probably still would have stuck with Uncharted.
yeah. But either way,
That's tough.
My
That's tough.
point is that I love the fact that we have this variety. It isn't just like, oh, this one good game came out this year,
Yeah.
and if you don't like it, well, too bad.
Yeah.
No, we have variety. We have choice. We have so many fucking games.
You think
to
about
play.
it. This year, Far Cry 5 came out.
Yeah, and that's the whole
Amazing
thing.
game.
These
Detroit.
lists are tiny. They're minuscule
Right.
compared to what games actually came out this year.
Yeah, there was a lot of games all the way back through the year. Like, all the way back through February of this year, we have nominees. So,
Yeah.
God damn it. It's interesting. I'm really looking forward to the new Far Cry as well. So, January, we got Ace Combat. February, we got was it the one that just got announced? Metro. We
Yep.
got Metro. We got what else? Metro. February. Kingdom Hearts. There's Kingdom Hearts in March.
They're arguing over
Days Gone.
Smash and
flop?
Days Gone.
I don't know. I think Days Gone, I think, is gonna do solid, but not spectacular.
They're gonna be okay. It's just they're not gonna get to what they wanted to. I think.
I don't know. Like everyone that said it's good, but it's like it doesn't really have anything unique going for it. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just because that's the vertical slice that they're presented with, or it just doesn't legitimately have enough going for it.
Yeah,
But
which
Bend is a
possible.
solid studio.
Because I mean, at this point, we've seen plenty of zombie or zombie-esque games.
Right.
We've seen lots of open world survival-esque kind of things.
Yep.
Again, it's set mostly in reality outside of the zombie aspect of it.
Yeah.
So, like a
don't
lot
know.
of these things, they aren't really reinventing anything. Even if they put them all together as a solid package,
Yep.
it's only going to catch so many people.
Yeah, Sekiro is hitting next year, as
Oh,
well
fucking
as
Sekiro.
as,
Yeah.
as hopefully Goats of Sashimi.
You just keep changing it, don't you?
I should
Ghost of Tsushima.
I should make a mug that's got the Tsushima logo, like
Yeah.
the two triangles,
Yeah.
and make it like a goat, like an origami goat. It's just like the head and the goat ears, and have it goats of sashimi, and we'll have it out on the Digital Fiasco store. That would be amazing. I'm gonna start designing that
Yeah.
immediately. But Ghost of Sashimi.
Fuck Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima, because there's one ghost.
Yes, Ghost.
That
Singular.
looks amazing.
And Ichigo, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but we're pretty sure we're getting it like late next year.
I don't know about that one. I think it might be a cross-generational
Again, if it doesn't come out next year, I'm fine because I'm gonna be playing Cyberpunk the whole year anyways.
one. And there is some question about whether or not that's going to drop in 2019.
Don't you fucking dare!
I know, right? But I mean,
Don't ruin this for me, Jack.
It's gonna be fourth quarter 2019 if it happens at all, and The Outer Worlds is gonna be sometime in the summer. So you can just play Fallout and be done with not Fallout, but play Fallout. Better Fallout, as I like to call it.
Space Fallout.
Space Fallout. Well, Buck Rogers Fallout is what it looks like. Cyberpunk 2077, yeah, that's going to be like a couple of months off my schedule at least.
Yeah.
So, no way. I mean, it's done. Like, you can play it beginning to end now.
Yeah, it's not gold, but
Right.
they have played it from
Right.
start to finish.
So they're
at their studio.
They're tweaking it.
Yeah.
But granted, this is CD Projekt Red.
And it's also a gigantic fucking game. What did they say? It's like 10 times bigger than The Witcher or something?
Well, because it's not being made by Bethesda. So they're going to do some QA
Yeah.
and finish the game.
And I mean, to be fair, Commander Santa, Game of the Year next year is going to be CTR.
Yeah, oh, CTR all the way. Most anticipated CTR shoots to the top. So, Captain Quench, did you just stop by because you happened to see a Filthy Casual Memory Express shirt there? Or?
He could sense it. He had to drop in to see it.
His merch sense is tingling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who else? What else are you anticipating for 2019?
Well, I know one of my big ones for next year that was nowhere on that list. I don't even know if it got voted for or not. Devil May Cry 5.
It was on the list.
That is a big one for me because after the upset that was 4,
right,
and then the joyride that was DMC, I am looking forward to more awesome Devil May Cry greatness.
Yeah, that's kind of in the same category for me as The Last of Us 2. I'm gonna wait to see if they fuck it up because the Devil May Cry franchise has been, what's the word? Uneven.
A hit and miss, yes, quite.
Hit and miss is a fair description.
Yeah.
So if it's great, fantastic.
Definitely looking forward to it. It looks. That's the thing is, I think after the misstep that was 4, I think they really went back and looked at what made 3 great, and then just put that in the fucking DNA of 5.
I don't know if more people played DMC.
Hey, did you go? Nope. I'm sorry. I completely disagree with that.
4 is way better than DMC. You, sir, no.
I honestly think you are the only person I've ever heard that said 4 was good. DMC was spectacular compared to 4.
Would you rather play Damnation than 4?
What's that?
Damnation than DMC 4?
No. I would still play 4 over Damnation because Damnation is hot garbage.
Yeah. Well, the new DMC is great. Like the actual DMC, right? The one made by Ninja Theory. Was a great game.
It reminded me of like a Platinum game, basically. So
it got shit on.
Thank you, Discount.
It got shit on like what's it? Infinite Warfare got shit on because people didn't like the look of it.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is it had this huge hate on because it's Switch Studios and they had a different look and everything like that, and people just spat on it from the start. And they never gave it a chance, which was really unfortunate because they fucking nailed that game.
Yep.
It was fun. It was interesting. It was different. The combat was stellar. Like, it was just such a good fucking game.
We should get Platinum to make Heavenly Sword 2.
I want Platinum to just make everything. I love what Platinum does. Their style of game.
Platinum should not make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, I think that wasn't quite their fault.
That's their fucking B team.
That was
what?
Well, no, not their B team. I think they had too many fingers in that pot there, telling them what to do and how to make it and everything.
Honestly, Platinum has had an uneven track record lately. Like, when you look back at the things they've done recently, it's like basically great game, bad game, great game, bad game.
I want to know what's behind that, though. Because, again, the ones that tend to be not good ones are typically ones that aren't, like, first-party style ones. So you look at the Transformers one, you look at the Ninja Turtles one.
Transformers one was decent, actually.
It was decent, but it was incredibly short and very shallow.
Honestly, I don't think I ever finished it. So
well, it was like a 4-hour game or something like that. Like, you would literally finish it in 4 hours. So
was it really?
Yeah, it's a short fucking game.
Now that I think of it, I played that more than 4 hours.
Well, maybe there were side missions that made it extended it a little bit.
I was looking for collectibles.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Let It Die was free to play. Yeah, where is our Heavenly Sword? You're not gonna get it.
Oh, Ichigo, you're a fucking amateur.
Ninja Theory.
He started the DMC franchise with 4. No wonder he thought 4 was the superior one. My friend, you are missing out on the superior game, which is Devil May Cry 3.
The best Star Wars was the Phantom Menace. That was a great game.
Because I started with that one.
Look at the graphics on that. Was so better. Didn't have any crappy models or anything.
Yeah.
God. Shia LaBeouf's acting. Shia LaBeouf could have made Devil May Cry 4 much better.
Yeah.
No. All right, folks, that's our show for tonight. Thank you very much, all of you, for coming by. A special shout out to Captain Quench, Commander Santa, our good bros from here in Winnipeg. Did you give a shout out to Commander Santa and Captain Quench? All right. Ninja Theory is locked up in Microsoft's basement. Yeah. Just like Coffee Stain, no more Goat Simulator for PlayStation 4 and Satisfactory.
Okay.
Anyhow, if you like what we do, please give us a shout on Twitter. Tell all your friends. Tell your family. If you don't like the show, let us know. We want to know what it is you didn't like. How can we fix it? We want to hear feedback from you. So reach out to us on Twitter at digital_fiasco. We'd love to hear from you. We're done now for the holidays.
Yeah, because Sean wants to know when our next show is. So.
Well, we are done, but tomorrow Comic Sans will be on at the normal time.
So they'll have their year-end show tomorrow.
7 p.m. Central Time. Wednesday will be Player's Guide Live.
Okay, yeah.
Their last show for the season.
Yeah, and they're all off on the same week.
And on Thursday we're going to have another night talk with Jack McBastard.
Okay, cool.
We're going to argue about good games, bad games, Game of the Year games.
Yeah.
What do you think shouldn't have made?
We can get into those deep discussions about Game of the Year.
And, general topics about whatever you want to talk about. It's wintertime. It's depressing. call in to Night Talk with Jack McBastard, and we'll make you feel good. What's that? I'm gonna have to look at a calendar.
Here, I'll pull up a calendar.
We're gonna be off for 2 weeks off our regular schedule. I may be doing some.
It'll be the 7th.
7th? Okay. So that's Digital Fiasco
the 7th
Live.
will be the official return of Digital Fiasco Live in the new year.
Yes.
But yeah, until then, you're going to be doing some
random stuff here and there.
Streams.
Yep. I might be playing some more Mutant Year Zero. I do have a brand new, unopened, plastic intact copy of Kingdom Hearts: The Story So Far.
So yeah, you're going to dive in and experience some
Where
of
do
that.
I start? Do I start with the original
I
one?
think the core one, you want to play 1 and 2, and then stray and then play the other ones.
I'm gonna need some fucking cliff notes, I think, so I know what the order is.
I'll send you the link.
Send me the
There's like a 25-minute
roadmap.
video
Yes.
that has a beautiful, proper explanation of the story.
Oh god, that's gonna be like the Nier one. That one made my brain leak out.
But this is the best way to understand it. It really is. Yeah.
All right. So let me know, just whatever the list is, so I can get started and enjoy it appropriately. Yeah. In any case, I'm going to be doing some random streaming. Who knows? Maybe we'll do some call-in shows. Maybe we'll do some other stuff.
Yeah.
Also, we are going to be starting a new show with the folks from PSU, starting a rotating panel of talking heads, and it is tentatively called Four Jerks Yelling.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about various gaming topics. It's going to be one topic. It's going to be 4 people in a room, or not in a room, but in a
Skype room.
It's going to be like a CNN talking head panel.
Less political.
Yes, except we're going to be talking about games. So the guys from PSU, some of the folks you see in the PlayStation Unchained podcast, some of the guys who do the YouTube channel, the Twitch streaming from PSU. We're going to be us and them.
And these two assholes.
Yes. And actually, we have an invite to go and talk with them, actually, on their PlayStation podcast as well. So
awesome.
We're going to be doing some back and forth with the
look forward to
PSU
that.
folks.
And then, yes, and I will try to clear up some time in the new year, and hopefully we can get some Indie Loop content from me, myself. So
actual brand new indie gaming stuff.
Yeah.
You really could have played offensive combat so that I didn't have to.
No, that's all on you.
Anyway, so, all right, folks. So that is us. It is for 2019. That is the end of our
2018.
regular.
Get ahead of yourself.
I want it to be next gen already.
Okay.
That's the end of us for 2018. Our regular schedule will be going now into random overtime, I guess.
Yeah.
But please, we appreciate all of you. Know that we want to wish you a happy Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, a crazy Kwanzaa, and a joyous Festivus. All of those things.
And the best new year.
Yeah, Commander Santa, don't you know the deal? I'm the 5th dentist. 4 to 5 dentists agree. Those other 4 idiots, they're just morons.
I just can't agree.
No, those other 4 guys are idiots. They're jerks. Anyway, yeah, you're still like the rejected robot master. If you want a new, different title,
I've thought of some other ones, but that's my core one for now.
All right, but yes,
Mega Man.
I'm the 5th dentist. In any case, thank you all very much. It's been a pleasure serving you all this year in 2018. We've had a lot of fun.
Yes.
We had a couple of 12-hour streams. We had some Taco Roulette. We've played some 1-2 Switch. Fuck that game. We've played a lot of terrible games, a lot of great games.
Yep. And we look forward to so much more next year.
Yep.
Bigger, better chats, more people, interactions, more
Indeed.
streams, more content, some new ideas going on in the background. It's going to be an awesome year.
It should be, indeed. So from all of us here at Digital Fiasco and from our support staff here in the studio, I'm Jack McBastard.
I'm Dandr0id.
And thanks to Discount and Jay Tanuki for being our aggressively unpaid intern and highly not on staff streamstress.
Yep.
And stunt double.
Stunt double. Apparently.
Stunt double for who? Squirrely Dan?
Anything we need it for.
I guess. Why don't you take 10 to 20% off there, Squirrely Dan? And that's what I appreciate you, Discount. Anyway. All right, folks, that's us for Digital Fiasco Live. Tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Time for Comic Sans. I don't know what they're doing for the holidays, but probably something holiday themed.
Join in and talk about whatever you want to talk about with them.
Maybe
because they love all the nerdy comic book stuff.
Maybe Once Upon a Deadpool. Maybe the new Captain Marvel trailer. I don't know. It's been a couple weeks for them.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We're gonna pass the love along to someone here locally. If you want to stick around for a second, we're gonna just quickly go out to someone in Winnipeg and pass that along.
Yep.
Stick around for the raid. Anyway, once again, Jack McBastard.
Dandr0id.
Have a good night, folks, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.